Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in negative territory once again this morning, coming off a two-session post-Fed sell-off. The Dow looking to extend the slide that we saw almost accelerate late in the day yesterday. The Dow now on track for its worst weekly performance since way back in January, still down about 2+% heading into today's trade. The NASDAQ still up ever so slightly on the week, while the S&P 500 is basically flat at this point, including pre-market action. We are accelerating to the downside as more inflation talk continues to linger in the background. Commodity prices under pressure once again today as well. We saw a lot of them just get absolutely sold off hard yesterday. Copper, palladium, platinum, oil even to the downside, 2+% on the day. So we'll continue to watch those. Individually this morning, some of the squeeze stocks moving around once again in the pre-market. We'll have a look at AMC, obviously. Adobe reporting aftermarket yesterday. A decent report. They are higher so far in pre-market trading. And yeah, Orphazyme, what are we going to do with ORPH today? We'll discuss that. Big move down, obviously. FDA not approving the drug for them. It's Friday, June 18th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go, early look, yeah, pretty red right across the board here. The Dow, as I mentioned, leading the way so far, 0.8 right now for the Dow, 0.5% for the NASDAQ, S&P 0.7. You can see Brazil open already, trading down about 0.5%. Crypto's under pressure as well. Again today, I noticed Bitcoin did try to hang on to 38, but looks like we are kind of pulling away from it a little bit so far. It's Friday. Good morning, guys. End of the week, but going to be an exciting day. We have major index rebalancing coming up at the close tonight. We're seeing already lots of volume being prepared, both in Canada and the U.S. to be traded, possibly at the open here as well. So lots to get through here in the next hour.
Yes, sir. Happy Witching Day. I saw someone in the chat. Where are these guys located? We are in Toronto, Canada. And look, it's setting up to be an interesting morning, obviously, because you do have that rebalancing coming in. We got a lot of questions about it in the chat. Sean doing a great job answering them. So keep in mind, there's going to be a lot of extra volume at the open and the close today. So it's easier to get shaken out of positions. We'll be right here with you guys looking at what is moving. And look, obviously that ORF, for those of you that are checking in, weren't trading in the afternoon show. We discussed a little bit about this one. It actually did hold at 6 even, oddly enough, though, so gapping down when they didn't get that approval. It's not the only name that's moving. A lot on the docket, I think, today that we can watch, especially given the rally and the broad rally in the NASDAQ and coming back into it today. There's going to be a heck of a lot of movers and a lot of stocks that are at some interesting levels. So we got a lot to discuss. We got a lot to get to. Should be a fun one, Sean.
Yeah, welcome to Quad Witching. It's a nice Friday afternoon, going to be tonight as we go. We're going to see some crazy stuff. I want to show you quickly here. The witching does start in the morning as well, guys. So right here, just for example, on Canada's a little different, which is why I'm showing it to you. You can see there's big size here, both on the bid and the ask. It's a match price. It's the same price, but you're going to see here right now 7 million shares. You can see on the size up here, ready to go off on the first print. 7 million shares are going to go off on the first print. There's also a big buyer on Royal Bank. There's a few different names. And then here, actually a little disappointing. We'll wait to see if this gets ramped up. But right now, XOM has a decent sell on it. Look, I've been talking about a sell on XOM for a bit. Oh, no, now my chart's not going to load. But I think XOM has been top heavy for a bit, and there's a big sell. There's a buy on GE, but we will be reviewing all of this, as well as the sticky note getting ready to rock and roll. So I'm noticing my voice is a little bit scratchy. I got to go get some water, but it's going to be a big day. We're really super excited. There should be tons of volume off the open. And how do you trade it? I mean, I think you just sort of wait for the first like 10 or 15 seconds to settle down. We'll watch the levels go a little bit crazy as they figure that out, and maybe we can get some nice prices. So we'll put some orders a little bit lower, and we'll discuss how to do that as we get ready and closer to 9:30, guys.
Yeah, lots to get through coming up in the next hour or so. Glad you're joining us once again this morning. If it is for the first time, make sure you hit the like and subscribe, guys. Come back and join us every single day. Let's kick things off by getting over to the desk and saying good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, traders, and happy Friday. It's going to be a busy day. I wish you all the luck and to stay profitable. Please make sure to like this video right now, and let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys. One of those mornings, because of what is going to be happening on the index side of things, a lot of big players moving some shares around. Sean was saying both at the open and at the close today. One of those mornings where it's very important to have a plan, but also very important to understand, as Neil was saying, there's a lot going to happen right at the open, so maybe less is more, guys, right out of the gate today.
Yeah, to be honest with you guys, and just Sean and I have been trading a long time, but we usually have a full floor, and some people are remoting here, and a lot of traders will sort of lower their share default or wait things out in the first couple of minutes on a witching day. It doesn't mean that you don't have preparation, that you don't have levels that you're going to be working off of. You're still going to have your regular list. Like, you'll still go through and check out your AMC and then look at your historical prices. Like, I'll come in and say, okay, yeah, that 58 bottom from yesterday. You gotta be looking at that for the kind of a dip, and then you have that 64 area top that was fail break galore. So you're going to still be looking at some of those levels. I actually like 57.50 a little bit better, but I think you always have to let these go a little bit further. In yesterday's action, 51.50 was pretty good. So I kind of had that at 57.50. But when you have a witching day, the kind of thing that could happen to you is you get a bigger outsized move. So you can have that level down there. I just think catching the falling sword is even more dangerous, right? Like, if things start to snap back, it's probably easier to let it turn. And if it goes a little bit deeper, then fair enough. And then you just wait patiently for your entry spot. And then also watch out on New York stocks to see whether they've actually opened, right? So a lot of times you might want to jump back until there's the official open. Sometimes that can be delayed. A lot of times it's like within seconds, but it can be delayed for 30 seconds up to a minute. On a witching day. So you do watch out for that. If you are waiting for the open, just be a little bit patient. No need to jump in. There's going to be plenty of opportunity on a day like today.
And so I finally got my XOM chart to load, and again, things are just working out. And we talked about having XOM here, shorting it, and I told you that I would get some puts on XOM, and that was just, honestly, that was like a couple days ago when we were up here at 63, 64. I talked about 1, 2 tops, 3 tops, and then we break out a little bit. Yeah, sure, I can take the water now. So there goes XOM now coming back in. Thank you, Maggie. Very kind of you. Thank you. Trader TV, milk jug water. So there you go. We should be selling these, but we can't find a place that will put them up for us. But anyways, today's Merch Friday, so you guys can pick that up. Okay, so XOM coming back in, pulling back into 60 bucks here. I mean, I really like this as a short. We've already talked about it here, that the imbalance is already to the negative side on an XOM. You're not going to see, unlike Toronto, remember, you're not going to see it on the level. You may as we get closer, right? But for right now, we're going to wait on XOM, but it looks like it's breaking back down near 61. And man, we did call. I know it's just yesterday. All right. I mean, the move is just yesterday, but I think it's just getting started. I think XOM's a little bit overdone here. We could I think we do pull back to 55, maybe 50 even if we get all the way back down here. We're going to watch oil. Oil's down 1% today, so that's what I like. And all the talk about quad witching, look, believe me, guys and girls, everybody watching, obviously, it's a big deal, but it's not as big as you think. I think the advice, like Neil said, 19 years trading as well. And, it's just watch the stocks. Just make sure that, you don't have any orders that are too crazy off the open. Like, you don't want to market buy something off the open. You want to wait for it to maybe move it down. We don't know which way this is going to go. So I would just let the volume and the price action speak for itself off the open. Those of you that have been here, I mean, we had the same thing in December. There's quarterly rebalances every quarter as well. So, I'm not super crazy about them. I think it'll be much more interesting at the close. So we'll see on the open. It should move around. We'll get some crazy prices, hopefully, and then we'll just look to take advantage of them. So that's why get your shopping list ready, at least for the open. Yeah,
let's get prepared as well, and definitely come back, join us at 3:15 this afternoon. We'll take you through to 4 o'clock as well. We'll bring in Mark Roberts here, president of Sunlike Strategies, get his take on what to expect on quad witching day. It's rebalance day, Mark. There's lots to talk about today. What are your thoughts here heading into a Friday?
Well, it's been an interesting time because having a balanced portfolio is not the right way to go. So as an investor, unless you're able to literally sell, buy, and suffer the tax consequences, there isn't much you can do as investors, or I should say hedge funds, swing for the fences. June 7th, I had a buy alert on Apple, and that was the beginning of the turn for all the tech stocks and the sell-off for the cyclicals.
Yeah, really nice moves past couple of days for some of the tech stocks, as you mentioned here. Let's put our trader hats on here a little bit and discuss how we approach a day like this. I mean, as we said, a lot of the big hedge funds, the index is going to be moving a lot of shares around, both at the open and at the close today. If you are going to be active on a day like this, how do you approach an index rebalancing?
Oh, I think the best thing to do is to wait for tech pullback and trade it from the long side and wait for some cyclical pullback to the upside and put some shorts out. The theme seems to be to maintain long tech, short cyclical for the next few days at least.
Weekly performance here for the Dow, going back to January, as we said. So, have we officially gone back to some growth coming back into favor? As we said, really nice moves past couple of days for some tech names.
Yeah, I would say so. The only thing that's unclear is whether or not the Russell 2000, which is either RTY or IWM, takes the lead and sees more dollar inflows. That's still unclear at the moment, but it was great the fact that Adobe had good earnings, good guidance, and the stock is up early this morning, gives a good tone for the tech.
Let's talk a little bit about some travel names here. We had the EU talking very positively yesterday about resuming some I guess lifting some restrictions as far as who can come and go freely without quarantining. I mean, do we see some of these travel names, the airlines specifically, catch a bid on that news, or are we to a point now where some of this is already priced in?
The international side is still iffy. The domestic side is a winner. LUV, Alaska Air, JetBlue. Domestically, you'll be just fine. Yes, they've pulled back significantly in the last few days, but the problem's going to be this Delta variant, and it's a race with every country trying to get more vaccines in people's arms versus getting another outbreak of hospitalizations due to the Delta variant. I think it's now in 40 U.S. states.
So we were discussing at the beginning of the week, everyone was kind of waiting and seeing as far as the Fed was concerned, what was going to happen when the Fed came out, how, they were going to talk about tapering or not tapering, and the inflation discussion continuing this morning. It seems like the market has kind of shrugged this whole week off. I mean, we are lower again this morning, but in your opinion, what's going to be required here to get the next move for the overall market?
I think stocks either get extended to the upside or oversold to the downside. They'll stabilize. But for the moment, the dollar is just ripping. You're at 92.12 on the dollar. You were at 89 and change at the beginning of the month. So this is what's crippling many of the unwinds over the last few days.
So, Mark, thank you for coming back. As always, it's a perfect day to get you on here talking about witching and the reaction we had yesterday. So I want to go directly to one of the first comments you made about what to do off the open. Put some offers on the industrials, wait to buy a dip if you get one in tech. And then you said next week or next couple of days that could be the theme. So I want to bring up Caterpillar here because I know this is an industrial name, but it's also a tech company. It's been a fantastic growth. And now you're pulling back, which, look, we've already seen this come from 247. You're down $40 here, right? You're essentially calling a 15-16% pullback into what seemed like a decent turnaround point before. So do you preach pay? Because actually, when we talked about this, Sean and I, yesterday in the show, I was like, oh, you should be all over it at 180. And then as I looked at the chart, I was like, yeah, but looks pretty good here to buy at 210. And I was on the wrong end of the coin, thinking that and we would react with the Fed here and not be quite so bullish in some of the tech stocks and get a little bit defensive. So what are you thinking about for timing as to when you can start to think about getting some of these industrial names back into favor?
Well, first of all, I'd use the moving averages. So I use a 50, 100, and 200. Other people use 150. It really doesn't matter. 196 is a key level for the stock. When it broke the 233 area on very high volume, I had mentally a 196 in this. I happen to be long at around 120. It's been painful to watch this come in, but I'm tax sensitive, not like many of your followers. So I couldn't sell my position at that 233 area. So I'm looking for 196, 200 as that starting point to take a look. Deer is the same kind of chart. And I just think that with the high volume that's coming in, this will get stretched like a rubber band. So the 196 could end up being 185 for all we know as the higher dollar moves.
Yeah, and sort of go from dollars to the bank sector as well, as I'll sort of get my chart to load up here. You know, what's your outlook on the banks? You haven't really seen, looking at JPM here, and if it were to break, say, like 146, and I'm not saying it's going to, and I apologize for the wicks on this chart, those are kind of crazy. If it were to break this sort of 146 level, it's sort of the same looking deal here. Now, it's been a little bit more stable, I would say, up at the top. Do you have is there a particular bank that you think should fare a little bit better in this particular reaction that we're seeing in the last a day or two, or a day and morning? Is there one that you would be more ready to buy on that dip? JPM, of course, Bank of America, certainly all have different types of exposure to the rates, but is there one that stands out for you? I'm looking at JPM 146, and it's like, if it can't hold that level,
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking, Wells Fargo came down really hard. Bank of America came down really hard. I think you may have to start going out and looking more into we'll call them the regionals, SIVB, SVB Financial, some of those others. Some of the insurance companies look slightly better. The banks at the moment, I sold my Citibank position about 4 or 5 days ago, but I'm still in Morgan Stanley, I'm still in Goldman Sachs and the like. So you can't dump all of these, but right now they're out of favor, and they may have another, 3-4% on the downside. I'm still looking for lower levels on the S&P, probably around 41.35. We're at 41.84, so I see more damage coming.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things that's going to happen here where, look, I think the market has to find a level to settle in on. It looks pretty negative so far today, but we know in witching it can be a little bit tricky in that first 5 or 10 minutes. And Mark, you've been on the floor, right? So actually, you're going to tell us how many years of experience you have on the floor. But just in that first couple of minutes, you get some delayed open on some New York stocks. Can you sort of walk us through like just a little bit of that chaos that is going to happen at the open? And we've been telling traders, maybe you want to hold back a little bit in the first couple of minutes, even if you have like a really good day trade entry that you like. Just walk us through that first couple of minutes a little bit.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is there's something called D-quote, which hedge funds and institutions use electronically to pair trades. It's usually in the first 3 minutes of the day and the last 3 minutes of the day. That's where the majority of the volume over the last few years have come in. So for the moment, you're absolutely right. Unless you're looking to buy a stock that you know has got legs to the downside and you're willing to take that early position, you usually would wait the first 3, 4, 5 minutes.
There you go, and thanks a lot, Mark. I mean, look, it's one thing for Sean and I to say it, but Mark, for all of you guys out there, I mean, he's been on the floor, he's experienced all of this, so we just want to get that out to you guys. Thank you, as always, for coming on. Best of luck in your trading, and hey, happy Juneteenth. I guess it's an official holiday. I don't know if the markets will observe it. we'll see what happens with that by next year, I guess. But either way, enjoy your weekend, Mark. It's raining here. I hope it's better where you are.
It's better where we are. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, guys, a few analyst moves to make note of before we go any further here. Biogen back on the upgrade side again today. BIIB has had a decent week. Piper Sandler. Delta on here. Mark was mentioning that. Adobe and Lennar. We had earnings earlier in the week from Lennar, guys.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Biogen?
good. I mean, the housing has been crazy, so we can watch out for some Lennar as well. Just let's check back in. I mean, we just had good talk there, Neil, about the imbalance. So we'll have another look quickly here. It hasn't changed at all. I mean, XOMG, BAC, I mean, the banks there. I mean, I'm surprised it's a buy. Coke. But like Mark said, man, the D quote's going to figure out some of those prints in the first couple minutes. I mean, it's exactly, I mean, we started the show with exactly that same talk, right? So from one mouth to the other, you know, let it just everything calm down. I'm not expecting things to be too nuts here off the open. I was just talking about picking up some Microsoft and things like that as well in the chat. So you guys can, I don't know, I think this has been, wow. All right, we just got a big, this is just the 1 minute. I don't think that must be a deep print up there. But we were hovering around 259, so we're still in that same area. And again, you know, try to pick up a little bit of value. We stopped yesterday at 261 and change. We dipped down to 259 already. So let's wait to see. The NASDAQ is pulling back down. We're going to go over our watch list. So the sticky note's out. The watch list is out as well. So we'll be going over a few names here and then getting really excited for the open. So, I mean, I have my shopping list. I think you guys should have yours as well. And then we'll look to see what happens. I don't know. It won't affect crypto or anything like that. But, you know, we can look at that with the US dollar moving. Like Mark just said, it's a nice rebound for anybody that's interested in the US dollar. That should affect some multinational companies as well. I mean, there's so many angles to talk about right now that I'm just excited to see what this day brings.
Yeah, 3 days in a row now back to the upside for the US dollar. We'll discuss that coming up a little bit later on. In the meantime, as Sean mentioned, let's jump into what is moving around in the pre-market. Guys, we send out our morning note every single day, absolutely free before we come on at 8:30. That's the link if you want to grab that morning note. Absolutely free to you, as I mentioned. Let's get into it here. Let's talk about some of these squeeze stocks or meme stocks, whatever you want to call them. AMC, I mean, not much to say. It was impressive, to say the least, yesterday. We're not really doing a heck of a lot here, though, in the pre-market, guys.
There we go. We fire off the ape. I mean, no, we're not doing it all. Very much volume at all. Only 2.5 million shares. But yesterday was quite an epic day, man. I mean, anybody that was with us on the show knows that we had this print in our blotter there, and then we got it out for $4 or $5, right at this high right here, 55 and change. So that was a good run. And then look, man, it just kept on going. Volume came in as we broke 60, then it came right back to 59, touched VWAP again, and then as you can see, volume started coming in about 2 o'clock, 2:30 on this dip, and then they just support this dip and bring it right back up, and then there's another big dip coming right back to VWAP again, and then right back to this 62 level. So yesterday, I'm looking at 62 because there was some stop and goes here in the aftermarket, and then when you go into today, 62 basically, I mean, it's not the high, but we're getting pretty close to that 61.80 in the morning as well. And then, you know, I just look at 62 as a level that I'm interested in here for a break. So we'll wait to see if we can get above 62. That's going to be my long area. And then off the bottom, I mean, I know we're just covering support and resistance levels here, but you have this 58.50 and or VWAP. So you can't really take VWAP off the open because, again, volume, it's going to have to correct itself when more volume comes in, because that's the point of it, volume weighted average price. That's the blue line. But for right now, we're going to see if 58 can hold. It held yesterday pretty good, as you can see, held here again. And I'm going to call this a hold, even though it only went to 59. But this area looks pretty good. We had some consolidation and then a break, and we never came back in. So let's wait to see what happens around 58 if you're looking for support, or 62 for a break. But I'm not playing in between right now.
Yeah, I agree with not playing in between. That 58, like I had the long that I didn't hold on to at the close there when it actually broke VWAP down there. I want to step back a little bit deeper, just because sometimes you get crazy action on these mornings. So look, if you look at what happened for that bottom and where you're able to catch it, you could come back to that 51.50, and then you go back to this breakout here, and then you go back to resistance a couple of times in last week. So I kind of want to do the same thing and then look back at what was previous support, 55, 50, 56, and we remember that from the afternoon, and then the morning and the next day, and then you had a bit of a resistance point at that level. So I'm looking 55 half, 56 on the deep move in addition to that 58. There's another meme name, and it's look on Geo. the CEO bought like 160,000 shares, so it's up like 8%. There's actually not a heck of a lot of volume going on here. So I came in thinking I wanted to had this one on my fade radar today. Just looking at the daily chart, it had the spike, came back in. It looked like it was going to go right into this cluster where it had the fall. It's holding right at this 780 level, essentially, where you had the big sell-off. So, I mean, it sets up pretty nicely for, you know, this area short here off of 8, and then maybe you have a stop area of about like 840 going back into what would have been last week's lower high. But 250,000 worth of volume. You can't sit in that one in the pre. Well, you could sit in that in the pre-market, but I wouldn't do it. So I'm not going to do it. I'll let this one open up, and if Geo makes a little bit of a pop, I think that would be the fade play there. I mean, I know it's up 8%, so technically has moved more than most of the things on the board, but the volume just not with GEO today. So no pre-market trading in this one.
All right, let's talk about Adobe here. Adobe out with earnings after market yesterday. Pretty good report, as Mark was saying. Not doing a heck of a lot of volume here in the pre-market, but worth mentioning, guys, we did get beat top and bottom line, even their forecast, as we said, to the upside. So good look here for Adobe.
I mean, some of the cloud names just continue to be stars, right? I mean, Adobe, we talked about Twilio yesterday. And I mean, if Twilio didn't lead the way for Adobe, then I don't know. I mean, we know the cloud has been huge. You see the big move yesterday in Twilio right here, bang, 330 up to 360, you know, almost a 10% move, well, more than a 10% move, I guess. Yesterday happening intraday, bangs, takes off, and then keeps on going. And then today now, we get that great report from Adobe, and it's back to all-time highs again. 560 looks like was the previous all-time high, and now today we take that out. So there it is. Big move upside. We hang around 500, then we bust up 560. We taking out some of these highs. What a great buy and dip buy Adobe was. I mean, again, as long as the tech keeps on going, then we do like Adobe. Only 64,000 shares. The spread is okay. It's only $1. I mean, that's not great, but I think off the open, this is a name that maybe you want to hunt for, and we'll do that, right? We'll see if we can get a pullback. It's sort of barcoded here a little bit and made some levels down to 565, so there is that. I think if you get something near 560, then you'll be doing pretty good. So that 560 is the previous high before. So right here, so if we can get a pullback off of maybe some crazy moves off the open, I think Adobe at 560 for me makes a little bit of sense. So that's a level I'm looking at. I don't know if we pay high right now for it, but I do think once the market opens, we probably break 572. It's just remember what we said. I mean, off the open, doesn't make sense to take breakouts right now. We'll take it within the first couple minutes. So I like a bid back down to 560 if we get it, and then if not, then let's wait to see if we can get some 572 breaks.
Let's go to Orphazyme. We're going to get Arun to come by. Going to be an important morning to have Arun talk a little bit about the futures and his approach to how he's going to look at trading today. Essential when you get such high volume going off both on equity and futures markets. Orphazyme. What do we say here, guys? We definitely discussed this late in the day yesterday.
We talked about, look, I mean, there was a question about should you hold it. Sean was like, I don't think you said hell. You said heck no, if memory.
Yeah, I was like, no. I mean, just to do it. Well, you're going to go. I'm not going to interrupt you, but it's just a risk, right, Neil?
Yeah, it was. Look, it was too much of a risk, and it was very jittery. Let's remember, it got halted downside before any news happened, and then there was no update, and then it managed to come all the way back, and then look at the way it was dropping. We talked about the lack of bid every single time the stock would barcode. If it broke a level, the bid would evaporate. You know, the algos were like, no part of wanting to make a market on this one every time there was a big drop, and it would recover. But the downside risk was tremendous. I mean, the number 6 got thrown out, and we're down there now. It's easier to get a look at the pre-market here. I just want to make sure everyone remembers the context. On the daily, this thing was at 4 previously, all the way down at like $4 or $5 when it made its initial move. So there is actually potentially room to the downside here. There is this level which comes back in, which is like $8, and that was like a previous low. So those are things that you want to keep in mind as you're putting this move that's back to the upside in perspective. I know it looks impressive. Everyone's like, oh yeah, but I can get a dip down to 680 in VWAP. And so maybe temper your expectations on a rubber band push, because I think it would have some trouble getting past that $8 range. And I'm going to lean into the notion of shorting in front of levels like that. I know sometimes it doesn't work out that way. I was impatient at least a couple of times with similar plays, but I'll let it travel into that 8 range from the daily chart and then see if it's going to be worth a bit of a fade play. When the news has come in, it's obviously not going to be good. It's just not a heck of a lot to grab onto here on the stock outside of hope and the fact that sometimes you do get these massive moves to the upside. I'll get out of its way if it has no turnover at 8 and then hunt for a better level at that point. As far as it taking out the low, at this point, I would not short a 6 break when it's sitting at 730. On this day, a 25% move in 25, into the open and then shorting the bottom, that's just ripe for getting it like an early stop out. I'd rather allow it to come into a price. Same way I prefer dip buys, I'd rather sell this one on the way up.
So yeah, I'm not going to do any levels. Neil just did them all, but I just want to talk about this Morris here. Orphazyme was gambling. Hope people only risk what they could lose, if anything. So that's exactly, and then I just told him exactly Morris, exactly with a couple dabs and everything and some hand claps, because that's exactly all that you guys can do with Orphazyme, right? It was one of those plays that we talked about it yesterday, that if you went long at 14 or 15, be prepared. I actually called $5, so not bad, down to $6.50. Just be prepared to lose half or a third or 2/3, whatever the money is, because if they miss and it doesn't get approved, that's what's going to happen. And if they win, though, you're probably going to get a double or a triple or something like that. So you did have some risk tolerance there, and I just think that if anybody played it, welcome to the stock market. You can make those plays every single day on a lot of these names. So if that's your style, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I feel horrible. I mean, I wish it went up. I do know there are some people that are short the name as well, so I can't cheer one way and not cheer the other. So just congratulations if you played Orphazyme. And ultimately, it just shows that you have some big stones, right? And to me, that's really what trading sometimes is all about. You got to have a percentage of your portfolio that you are willing. And again, I'm very, very conservative. But you have to have a percentage of your portfolio, whether or not it be 5% or something, where you take shots, and if you did that over, especially in 2020, 2021, then you've done amazing, right? And so let's just congratulate people that take risk. But yeah, ORPH was definitely on many people's do not trade list and no fly zone just because of the way that it profiled. And so congratulations to anybody both ways. I just wish it would have been a little bit less of a move so everyone could win.
All right, let's talk futures. We'll bring Arun in here and discuss what we need to know heading into the open. And also, Arun, going to be important to talk a little bit about the close today because we'll get a lot of action then.
Yeah, okay. There's a lot happening today. So, there's a lot on the plate. So let's just break it down in different pieces here. The first thing, the futures. Technically, let's talk about what's happening on the ES futures right now. Yesterday, we had a decent amount of support below 4,200. So I had marked off 4180. So if we got underneath there, you could potentially look at the idea of looking for resistance now. What was previously support would be resistance. And that's what I'm looking at now. We got below 4180. We kind of tested it a couple of times. We got back and now we're bouncing. So as we come into the high 80s, into the 90s, I'm looking for some form of selling. It looks like there is selling coming in now. So it is falling off the 90s back into the 85s. So if this can maintain, I think you've got to look at the potential idea of a short with 4205 as a stop. That's what I'm going to use just to get us, just to put some space between the 4200 and the 4205. I'm looking for some resistance to hold us and potentially lead this short back down towards the lows. Now that is a technical picture on this, on the market just to start the day, but there's a lot more happening with the imbalances. You do have the large indexes doing some rebalancing. You have the S&P, the NASDAQ, FTSE is doing a couple as well. There's a lot happening there. So the way you would have to approach this as well is around the open and around the close. So at 928, you're going to have the NASDAQ imbalances come out. They are going to be large because even though the imbalances tend to be done at the end of the day, some of it does get pushed to the open as well. So you're going to have some larger than normal opening imbalances. I can already see that now New York imbalance is already large and it's actually leaning heavy to the buy side too. So unusually high buy side pressure into the open is what I'm seeing on the New York imbalance. But again, it's 9 o'clock. A lot of that can change as we get closer to the open. So the New York imbalance is pushing to the buy side for now. And at 928, you're going to have the NASDAQ imbalance come out. And exactly at 928, depending on how many stocks or percent of that imbalance is to the buy side or sell side, the indexes will go with it. So specifically the NASDAQ, index or the NQ futures will go with the imbalance that comes out. Again, from 9:28 until 9:30, you're going to have some pressure from the imbalances moving the indexes and, of course, the individual stocks as well. And then after 9:30, you're going to be back into normal trading. And then towards the end of the day, right? So and the majority of the volume is done at the end of the day, even though some is done at the beginning. So at 3:50 in the afternoon, that's when the first set of imbalances, well, that's when the imbalances come out. Unless you're looking at Toronto, which comes out at 3:40, New York, NASDAQ, Amex, they come out at 3:50. So that's the first burst of information you're going to get. Indexes will go, individual stocks will go, depending on the imbalance. And then at 3:55, you're going to have the update from the floor, which will either verify or completely negate the imbalance size. So they can add to the imbalance, or they might just cancel it out completely. And at that point, you're going to have the indexes and the individual stocks make a move, a big move as well there. And then pretty much from there on out, right into the close, whatever side the imbalance is on, as long as it stays on that side, it's going to put pressure on the stock, and the stock is going to go in the direction of the imbalance pretty much right until the close. And of course, as the closer and closer we get, the more and more people are offsetting the imbalance. So what tends to happen at that point is the imbalance gets smaller, and sometimes it can actually completely reverse direction. And then if that happens, the stock itself will change directions fairly quickly. So there's a lot happening at the end, final 10 minutes, and also the opening 5 minutes, maybe right before 9:30. So just for anyone who hasn't traded these imbalances, technical reads go out the window in those time windows, right? In the 5 minutes before the market opens and the 10 minutes before the market closes. Throw out any reads that you have that are based on technicals, because at that point, it really doesn't matter. And you just kind of, if you want to play momentum, go ahead, but just understand there's a lot more behind the scenes, because on a day like today, it's going to be extremely volatile for the open and the close.
Worth mentioning, Arun, if you're the type of trader that, maybe has a position, tries to hold it throughout the day, you get to that last 30 minutes of the day on a day like this, better to, be flat and trade that as an entirely separate trade?
It depends, right? Like for us here, we have access to the imbalance locator. So that allows us to see the imbalance. Now, if I'm long, say I'm in a position and the imbalance on that stock is also to the buy side, then I would just trade it right into the close and try to use that imbalance to kind of jumpstart my position even further. But if you don't have access to that information, you don't want to be surprised if it doesn't come out in your favor. So yeah, get out. And then if you want to trade, if you have the ability to trade and you have access to the information to trade the end of day closes, you need access to market on close orders, you need imbalance locator information, you need the updates. If you have access to that information, then it makes sense to trade it. If you don't, I wouldn't take the risk. It's not really worth it, because it can really whip around, and there's no point in losing money in a situation like that when you spent all day making money elsewhere, right?
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. Best of luck today. Going to be an exciting one, regardless of what you are looking at. Let's go to Palantir, guys. The next one on the list. More news, another day, I guess it's a contract, but it's the FAA. So, the FAA selecting Palantir and software that Palantir will provide for certification purposes today. We were up nicely here in the pre-market, but basically back to where we ended the day yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in just quickly. I had a suggestion for all of you guys out there. You might want to rewind and watch what Arun said, like watch it before the close. It was a lot of good information, and it's really, really useful. He did a fantastic job explaining. As a matter of fact, I'd rather tape that and teach that and have new traders on our floor watch that when it comes around to imbalance day. On Palantir, we traded this one in the afternoon. I think tempering the expectations was probably a good idea on the 25-25 break. It couldn't get past that 50 mark. You then get this break at testing that 50, and then a couple times it gets, 3 times it gets to 25, 70, 75-ish before pulling right back in. And now you're getting the definition of barcoding on Palantir. Now that break looked pretty good at the 25-25. If you look at the 15-minute chart, 25-75 is going to look just as good. But on this morning, I kind of feel like jumping right back into that whole, this cluster here, like 24.50 into like 24.75. Things get hairy. I think that's the dip that I would be looking for on Palantir, as opposed to that breakout. All that said, if we're staring at holding some of those levels, even if 25 would be great. I think looking at a breakout later on in the session could look fantastic. But in the initial look, I'd rather have the open area. I won't be looking 25.50 break at the open. I won't be looking 25.75 at the open either. Just only going to be doing dip buys in some of those tech type names.
Yeah, we've already got some bids here on Palantir. You guys know this is my baby, so we'll just wait to see what happens to it. I haven't been super excited about it in the last couple of days. It's been some nice movement, but we're just kind of hovering around 25, 25.50. So we'll wait to see. It's been a nice, we were really jacked up when it was breaking through VWAP and now get to the upside here. But yeah, more contracts, more money, and less problems. So let's wait to see here where we go on Palantir. I have bids low as well, so we'll wait to see where are my bids. Yeah, just low 25. So we'll see if it comes in around 25 quarter, around 25.10. Yesterday's bottom there, we'll appreciate and respect this bottom of 25, 24.79, 20. I don't know, let's just call it 24.50. I mean, who really cares? Yesterday before the market open was 24.50. We bounced around there. So, it's $1 lower. I don't think we get there, but just in case there are some chaotic moves off the open like we've talked about, I don't think there's going to be, but if there is, then we'll take a Palantir long downside also looking. We'll talk about Microsoft as well, but these are some of the stocks that I'm trying to bottom fish here. Palantir's been super strong. It's only down 0.28. The market's only down 0.49, so it's stronger than the market. I like when that happens, so let's wait to see more news. Again, like I said, better for the stock, and who knows though. Palantir's traded down on contracts before, right? So we'll wait to see where it goes, but I love Palantir. You guys know that one. Let's just wait to see where it goes. It doesn't have crazy moves, so I think scalping it's going to be the right way today again.
Let's talk about some of the chip makers' impressive moves yesterday. It's hard to avoid. I'll show you NVIDIA here. Hard to avoid a chart that looks like this yesterday. We mentioned this right out of the gate. Barely a red candle for the first hour of the day in NVIDIA yesterday. All-time highs, obviously, by the mid-morning. We're up here above 750 again this morning. The group itself was strong, but this one definitely led.
No.
Yeah, we love AMD, we love AMC as well. We just got into AMC right now, so we'll do a little bit of a breakout trade here, long 62. We'll see where it goes. So we just took into our first position of the day, was that 62 break. We talked about why we liked it. Looking at the chart, it's not a fantastic level here on AMC, but we've already gone over it. And if you look at a 20 period, it's a little bit better. You can see 62 was the high side. We're holding this to see if we can retest this 64 area, right? So now we're long 62. We're in it early here on AMC, and from one A to the other, AMD. I just looked at the chart, and unfortunately, I got to get rid of some of these ridiculous wicks here. But this was the trade of the day yesterday. We pegged this right off the open, 80.50. We were long. Took it out, 82.50. Then it started to rip to the upside. Watch out for 85.50 today. That was the high yesterday. We've also stamped. This is just, it's the way it's been going for me. Like we tweeted out that we're long at 604 here on NVIDIA, and now it's been getting nothing but upgrades. It's just been a fantastic move long. We were long. The minute they announced that reverse split, I was just, pushed the chips in there. We had some nice wins on that day, but what a great long this has turned out to be. NVIDIA for the win, and just, I'm never selling this stock. So, every single dip down, I think he has an opportunity to buy it. Well, right now, we'll see if we can get back down to 750 or 745.
Yeah. Let's continue along. It is, what do we got here? About 15 minutes to go. Let's talk about Arrival down here in the pre-market. Arrival was, so they declared that a submission to the SEC regarding an offering was actually approved. So maybe, possibly stand by for an offering here from Arrival, guys.
Every now and then you get those press releases, we mentioned this, Brendan, where the title of it, and you're going to read it if you ever find the article, it can be a little bit misleading, and it's a little more simple, and Brendan did a fantastic job on our free watch list of summarizing it there for you. Now, this dropped in the aftermarket. As you can tell, the news dropped, the headlines dropped, and of course, the stock dropped 10%. It's going to be short sell restricted off the open, which then favors not buying off or selling into the bid. That being said, look at the actual chop that this stock has in this price area, right? So you've had all kinds of just whipsaw action between 17 and 20, we'll call it like 21 in the last few weeks here. So I would really, really favor catching any kind of a rubber band effect and thinking, okay, well, normally, I'd be sitting there saying, yeah, let's just short in front of like 1925. You have this little bounce in the aftermarket. You can play the negative news. It's got the pre-market high as well. When I look at that chart, I say to myself, it's likely to extend a little bit further than that, past my expectations. So I come back to this 20 and then this 20 bottom. So I really, really want to be shorting arrival in front of 20 on any kind of a pop today. You can see if you sort of pull back what this break already looks like at 1850, but zero momentum through this 1850 break so far this morning. So it's not a horrible trade. If you can catch something after things settle down at the open, off of this current bottom break, and then maybe only give it to the afternoon low at 1865. So maybe a tight stop idea that you could put on a couple of minutes into it. But overall, the volatility is pretty clear. And if you just keep an eye on how choppy that daily chart looks, if you get into position here in arrival, it's not going to be your average $18 stock, right? Like if you're only giving it 25 or 30 cents, you're probably not going to catch the bigger moves on it. You might want to have stops that are allowing you to hold it, like 50 to 60 pennies or so, and look for those dollar moves because they should be there on arrival today. If it comes off the pop, that's what I'm looking for.
All right, so AMC starting to go now, and like I said, I didn't even look at arrival or anything like that. My list is pretty tight, so we're going to stick with those names and then just watch it. So AMC right now goes in the money 40 cents, but we're not taking that. So I just tweeted it out, guys, that we're going to wait to see if 63.50 can come on. And I actually tweeted, I see some talking here on the chat about another streamer, Matt Kors. I mean, I've seen the guy before, and I actually just asked him what his opinion is here on the 58 level. Look, we can't. Someone asked a question like, how come he gets so many super chats? We can't control that. I just know that he gives good information on a few stocks, and if you are looking, to trade, individual names, then you've already found him. But you found us, and I think that the reason why you found us, hopefully, is we trade multiple names. We like to give you guys our ins and our outs. We just don't tout one or two positions. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I trade AMC all the time, right? And so just make sure that you find your family. I'm glad you guys found us. And there's lots of fish in the ocean. There's a big ecosystem here. So we're super, super happy that, YouTube and everything is taken off with trading. And I think from an educational standpoint, you're not going to find anybody better than us. And if you do, let me know who that is because I'd like to learn as well.
All right, let's discuss another one in that group. BlackBerry, guys, I just noticed just popped up here on a couple of volume scanners here. So 1350 ends up being a key level. It was midday yesterday for BlackBerry. We were all the way up here, though, at 14 early on pre-market.
Post-market high, pre-market highs as well at 14. I actually only wrote down one number for BlackBerry. The level is so obvious there at 14 even, and you can play it in both directions. So it's going to be a look off the open. I'm going to favor the short. It's nothing against BlackBerry. Every time I would say I still have my Android phone, my Key 2, but that's the level I'll be looking for. If it does that little 930 test rollover style trade, I think that would be there. Certainly not before the open, but I really don't have any other level to look at. As far as dip buys go, if there is a drop in some of these names, there's probably other places like the AMC where I'd probably venture into buying some dips. Those levels have been much, much better, much more profitable, at least for me trading in AMC. I know with Sean as well. So 14, that's all I'm looking at for BlackBerry. I think it's worth to fade off that level, and it probably has a clean squeeze break in it for you if you're bullish.
Yeah, I wrote down here on the sticky note here. Again, I put a little smiley face there. I said, BB. Short, still like it short, will wait this time with a smiley face because yesterday we shorted it. I mean, all during this rip, we shorted it. And again, this was my worst stock yesterday. We tried to short. We caught a little bit of a short there in the aftermarket or in the after show. But this was, I think it was 10 cents, and then we took 5 cents right there at the close, and then we spike up again today. So look, I like BlackBerry. I just think that again, I mean, Neil just hit it there on the top. That 14 might be the play there. We'll try to wait for that. And there it is, guys. Thank you so much, Chris, for that. You guys are the best. And again, whatever. I make money trading. We all do. It doesn't have to be the super chats, but thank you so much. Your support is great, Chris. You've been here for a very, very long time. Thank you so much for that. We will take that money and then buy ourselves a drink on a patio that we finally have open for us, although it's raining right now in Toronto. Guys, thank you so much. Plenty of fish, guys, and we're glad that you found us.
Going to be a beautiful weekend, though, Sean. So definitely patio opportunities await. Let's talk real quick. ANPAC Bio. I want to leave some time so we can, kind of discuss what's happening going into the open here. So one more little one here. ANPAC Bio popping up here on some positive news this morning. If you go out to a daily chart, though, this kind of 660, 650 area is a bit of a pivot on the daily chart. Above that, you got to go all the way to 750. So lots of room on this one. So if we do get back above 530 first and then get through to that kind of 6 to 7 area, watch out for some resistance. Otherwise, 5 was support in the pre-market. 490 was also support in the pre-market. But here we go. Watch day highs coming possibly on ANPC, guys.
Yeah, definitely watch it. I've been sitting in this one since we came on air here, obviously, and you guys can tell. And some of you guys in the chat were talking about this name, and clearly, if you got it at 550 on that lower high, fantastic for you. When it broke this 530 area, that's when I got in the first time, and when it came back up and tested that 530, that's when I got in the second time here. And as Brendan mentioned, there's resistance at those two levels, 90s and 5 even, so you take a bunch of profit out. And no averaging in going into the open. I actually really don't mind if it's, well, I mean, I don't want to get stopped out. But if it takes out 540 here, I'd rather just cover it going into the open and then just look for another opportunity, right? Like, this is not the kind of day where I need to dig in and start averaging into a short right at the open on a stock which is gapped up. But as Brendan mentioned, the daily chart speaks for itself. Every time the stock has popped, it is retraced rather heavily and rather quickly. Like, very few times is it doing those like multi-day moves. So, if you bet on the trends, short-term trends continuing, it's usually a good way to go. Just always make sure that you have a stop. Like, I'm not going to get into this unless I know I'm willing to get out at that 540 level. So ANPC, we'll have that one off the open. It is not the only, I guess, like smaller name out there. I know some of you guys are looking at that. I think it was that GRN, G-R-N. So this is actually more calm and a better one, so shout out to those of you that got this one in the morning. I actually missed a chance to get it at 175. It doesn't seem like it has any juice to pop at this point back in here, but you'd be looking at a 175 off the open. If it makes that nice little 10-cent move up, that's where you'd probably be looking to fade it. For now, it does seem like this one has run out of steam. It's barcoding, but if you got the short and holding on to it, it looks pretty. It looks very, very pretty for you right now.
Yeah, and I just want to give a shout out here to some of these guys here, and I want to say shout out to Marlon. I just put that out. Thank you so much for that super chat as well. Nawal there, thank you so much for that, guys. I pay for a chat room and you don't get info like you do from us. Maybe we should have a paid chat room. Okay, Marlon, thank you so much. This is the key thing, and this is what I'm trying to say. I'm actually tweeting at Matt Kors right now. So everyone winning is the goal. No need for competition. There's room for everybody to teach and learn, right? So pro day trader and Marlon. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? There's no beef here. It's just you guys. Matt Kors is the leader of the apes. We've talked about that over and over again. And I just hope that we've found a place in your heart and in your day to trade as well. And so let's just keep going, man. This is fun for us. We love what we do here. And if you can't tell that we're passionate about it, I mean, we've been here every single day through the thick and thin. So hopefully you see the passion with our guest traders of the day, the interviews that we've had, the companies that have come on, the CEOs. We just had CEO Josh Schmidt from the Neo Exchange, right? We've had Stockfather on board as well, former trader, and now Sunlake Strategies president. So there's lots happening for us, and we're just super happy that there's lots happening for everybody. I did want to check back here as well. So that was AMC. I wanted to check back on Microsoft because this was a name there. And again, I'm going to quote the Stockfather on this one as well. Try to get long on tech, maybe, if there is any dips today. We've seen a big run up. Hopefully my chart is okay. Yeah, we've seen a big run up here in Microsoft, back to 52-week highs. We just talked about it just the other day when we were down here at 250. We talked about this. So let's wait to see where we go now. 265, probably the next stop here for Softy, but trying to buy some on the dip. And then just to review, we're out of the money now, 50 cents on AMC, which is completely fine. We've already pegged this. We know where we want to go from here. We're going to wait for this 58 level. We'll average in a little bit on this. And again, we're trading live. These aren't options. These aren't like, this is real money, real account, real prop trading. Neil, myself, and Brendan aren't going to sit here, and throw out fake trades for you. This is real. We're on a live trading floor here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I am going to throw Valeria under the bus, though. she is paper trading, guys. She is paper trading and learning, right, Valeria? Because when you turn over to me and tell me you just made $5 grand on Tesla, that's pretty balling. So she does take our levels, and she's turned out to be quite a good little trader and at least understanding of the software and of the market. So congratulations to Valeria, and congratulations to all of you on what's been a big half year. Let's hope the next half is even bigger.
And don't be afraid to paper trade. That's the thing, is we get viewers who have been trading for years, and these guys out here that are they're trading options. They're essentially put call spreads, doing everything. They're day trading, investment accounts, and all that happens in the chat. And it's a lot of fun. Then we get people who are absolutely starting out, and that's why we go through this process. And some people are asking about that UTME. Tread lightly, please, 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 please tread lightly with this stock. UTime has moved a little bit. Yeah, that's an understatement to say that it's moved a little bit. It is on our watch list. I'm going to be looking at this one today. There's almost no question about it. And I'm going to be purposefully looking for, if it breaks 2160, and this is that, I guess when it calmed down in the afternoon, like post lunchtime here, that would have been that top. If it breaks that top, which is now just about that pre-market high, I think it could possibly set off another one of those like squeeze up kind of ideas here where you could get a halt trade. And then I'd be looking for U-time if it goes into a halt state. Now, you can track halts a couple of ways. You can watch the stock, it'll stop trading, and then it goes into a halt state. Or just jump into like NASDAQ which I like to monitor. Sometimes I get away from it, which is a mistake. And then it'll show anything that's in a current halt, like SYKE here. You can get the reason. I'm looking for volatility halt if it's news pending. Unless you're specifically interested or own that stock, a lot of times jumping in on news pending post-open isn't always the best play. So I'm looking for volatility halts. I think U-time could be a candidate if it breaks at 2160, and then looking for retracements after said halts. Palantir basically not moving. AMC basically not moving. And I want to come back over to, if I can, ORF, because ORF is on the move a little bit. Now, if you want to sell into strength, the first level I liked is starting to come in here at that $8 range. It's a little bit early. We still have about 5 minutes to go, and we talked about holding things off. I went too far on the 15-minute chart there. But this is that $8 level, essentially like a couple of times holding a bit of support. As it rounds into this 8, I'm looking for a rollover trade. Like I want it to go into that zone and then fail. So I don't want to be shorting into it. I want to be shorting after a turn, and I also need this thing to open up to get me some opening volume here, guys. If it does shoot up even higher than that, I would just back off and then go back into this like 930, which was the bottom a couple of sessions ago today. So that's a large gap. I have no problem with it going through the entire way, and I sit it out. So no need to jump into this one too early, because the rubber band effect could be large in a stock like ORPH.
Okay, just quickly here before you maybe go back to Brendan, I think, Dan, thank you so much. I know you've been here for a very, very long time. How does this channel not have 5K likes already? I don't know. I've hit the like. I would appreciate it if you guys did as well. And remember, it's completely free. I mean, that's the first thing here. We don't run the show for Super Chats, but we do want to definitely thank you, Nicole Harris, for coming out for this as well. Thank you for the $5. So Chris, Nicole, and Dan, thank you so much. You guys have really meant a lot to us as viewers. So stay with us, and thank you so much to everybody. The Habs tonight, I think so. I think they could give it a go there. I know there was a lot of people thinking that the Vegas Knights would sweep, but 1-1. And we say go Montreal, regardless of your affiliation, although tough to say that as a Leaf fan, but you guys beat us, and now we cheer for Canada. So that's the thing. We are located, of course, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, home of the
It
Toronto
hurts
Maple
me
Leafs.
to cheer for Montreal because they traded PK, and I didn't like the way that went down. Anyways, I'm a Subban fan because I used to babysit the dude. But anyways, you got to go for those Canadian teams. I'm actually more interested, Sean, in tomorrow because I think Game 7 is going to be unbelievable. The Nets, Milwaukee's putting up a good fight. The Nets are shorthanded, but that's going to be an unbelievable battle. We don't want to get too far away from the actual earnings today, so let's not forget about Adobe. Sean, you said 560. I'm willing, because it's witching, I'm willing to let that drop into a 557 to 560 range. That's the only difference for me. But Adobe, fantastic report. And if it gets sold off, I think buying the dip, as Market even said in some of those tech names, probably the way to go into this morning if you get the opportunity. So let's watch a little bit of Adobe at the open as well, Sean.
Yeah. I don't think, Valeria, can you do a cartwheel?
Cartwheel?
Oh, she doesn't know what a cartwheel is. It's kind of when, maybe there's a meme. Can you guys find?
Of course you can, Rob.
Yes, exactly. She can. Okay, maybe she can. So we get 3K likes. I know one. We'll definitely get Rob. Will do one. Can you do one?
He can probably do a backflip.
Okay, so yeah, so we'll get Rob to do a cartwheel for sure. Then Valeria can try it, and then hopefully not get hurt. So if we can get 3K likes, you're going to see a cartwheel from somebody today. Okay, we're already halfway there. So Rob, limber up, my friend. I think we'll be getting those cartwheels in the close. Maybe if he wants to, up to him. He can do it if he wants to or not. That may be. I don't know. It's not. I can't do a cartwheel. Oh, my daughter can crush cartwheels, but she's 6. So, okay, BlackBerry, we're looking for that. We've got our AMC longs. We're looking for softy bids as well. We're getting jacked up here as we only have a minute to go. You can see, oh, you know what? It's rebalancing. I'm not even showing the imbalances. So as you can see, man, I told you it's much ado about nothing. So let's wait to see here. It's going to be nothing off the open here for New York. It looks like they're getting ramped up for the close. Microsoft looking to take out some levels here as well. Watch out for the upside on some of these tech names. AMC falling down. We only have 30 seconds to go, and I'm talking like I work at an auction.
Brendan?
Yeah, real quick, guys, look at NASDAQ as well, just out there. Surprisingly light on the volume side of things for NASDAQ imbalances. Not much, but there is a heck of a lot on the paired volume side of things. Yeah, a lot of M's over here for paired volume, but nothing too major, guys.
These have been unusually low recently on these days, but we're going to get that countdown. This is weird on Palantir, by the way. It's just been barcoding. This 38-bit is so random, and it's a bit of an iceberg. It's well, an iceberg, but a level it's been holding. But let's get that bell going, Miss V. 3, 2. I'd like to see that cartwheel. 1. I saw Trader Proud in the background.
All right. Get back to your seat, Valeria. Okay, here we go, guys. Ripping up to the high side right now, 25.60. There goes Palantir. We make sure we got an order out to go if it breaks. I don't know. No, we don't. We got to make sure we got to break out through 25.70. Here goes Palantir, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing. I almost wanted to pull back in and retest this 25.35 because that's such an iceberg order that if it bounces off of that, 38, I should say. If it bounces off of 38, I think there's a shot at a quick little scalp trade. ANPC does not take me out, so we're still in the money on that one. That short looking pretty solid and watching for that dip buy over in AMC. But it's all about just holding at 38 on Palantir. If it can do that, I'd like to catch a little bit of a bounce trade. So for now, it just bounced. I got 42s. This will be a ridiculously tight stop at 38 because I wanted to sort of sit most of the morning out. So I don't want to be holding this one too far against me if it breaks.
We talked about getting a neo break to the downside here. Doesn't look like that wants to happen. Okay, AMC, let's go. Palantir, we are long. We're double long. Let's see. We'll take it back into the outside here. But here goes AMC. Okay, so let's see if we can't get it going. We'll hit the cowbell here to get this party started. We have 64. I just talked about going long 62. Let's wait to see, man. We have the 62 in our possession right now. We stop at 63 there. We'll see if we get some out 63 high side. But right now, AMC stopping a bit. But here we go. Let's see what we do through 63. Palantir also starting to go again. We'll see where all these go, man. But right now, AMC $1 in the money right now. There we go. We just got Adobe long 561, guys. Bang! Let's see how far this one can go up. Maybe 60. That's AMC. Let's go Adobe. We got to click over to it, guys. Adobe 561.02.
And by the way, that big move in OR, if it turns around, I was sitting here waiting for that 930 level, and it goes to 890. So I'll go over. They already pulled back. I'm going to go over to Palantir here because it gave you that look with the bounce off of that 38 that we liked. I'm going to scalp it out in front, well, half of it out in front of this, third of it out, in front of this 25.65 top that it made, and then I will try to rinse and repeat off that level. If it wants to hold this barcode at 38, I got no problems with that, guys. And then my target, if it breaks 560 on Adobe, my target area is that $3 range. So the middle of that is where I'd like to start getting that long.
Oh, man. So Palantir, we go long. We didn't even get it out when it rips up to 60 there, so we're going to wait for that one. Adobe, AMC, and Palantir all to the long side right now. Look, I don't know if this is going to work or not. We're going to have to give this back down here, like 553 or so. If we crack through there, then we're going to know that we're wrong on that one. We just get our Microsoft bid through as well. So we're picking up some on the downside, but the market is falling. So we're not going to just sit here and let this happen. We do have some outs, guys, so be very, very careful. Long Microsoft on a nice little pickup there. Long, I mean, you can see the positions. Long Adobe, Microsoft, AMC, and Palantir.
Yeah, and I did just get ticked out of that ANPC, so it does make that move off of the open. I said I'd get out if it did, and then you get that rollover. Usually this is where I'm jamming back into it, so I probably should have taken out that stop order because that was a pre-market level that I wanted, and it makes the turn, so I don't have any trouble trying to get back into it here, guys. I just got first leg into Adobe in that $3 target range, so 59s, somewhere in the middle. that's what's going to happen here, guys. I should have canceled that stop. This is where you want to get more shares when it failed off this that 930 break to the upside. Palantir as well. I said it was going to be a tight stop because I wanted to go dip buying. So this 38 was the reason for that long. We got a scalp trade. We take some more shares at 42 and literally stop out for 5 pennies because we wanted to hunt back in. If the market falls, you look at that 25. You look at just on the off chance at 25.50. That's what we wanted to do. Adobe now making a bit of a move back in, and we said, don't sleep on Adobe. Sometimes these earning plays can be pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't. There we go. We'll power this one up. Look, the reason for the out there, I can tell you guys, pre-market low right here at 565. So that's why you want to take it out in front of it. Very, very quick. $5 winner on Adobe. I want to hold the rest of this to see if we can take out that top. That 557 to 600, a good target area, and ANPC back into that short. Brenda, what's up?
All right, early look at some volume leaders here, guys. As expected, some of the bigger names with huge prints this morning. Wells Fargo among that, already 4.5 million shares. We had J&J and Pfizer, guys, popping up early on the volume list.
Okay, so we may just take this out, man. Microsoft goes right back to 261. This is $1.50 now at the money. So we have $1.50 winner on Microsoft. We have $3.50, even more hopefully, coming on Adobe to the long side as well on that NASDAQ bump. So we're not going to get out of anything right here, guys. Palantir, we're still holding on to that one. Probably going to take another long, not probably. Let's just do it. Let's get another little bit right now. We'll take another long right here. We'll take some more Palantir upside. And then AMC, man, we should have took that out at 63. We did it, man. We had 63.50 on our mind. So now we have to wait to see if we can pick up another little one. But there goes Adobe, man. We talked about this. Crushing Adobe, guys. Spin it.
Money.
All right, $7 now with the money on Adobe on this call. So let's just keep on going long side on Adobe. Microsoft does make that high up to 260, 261. We may want to get out of that. We can't be long on everything NASDAQ here, guys. Palantir, Microsoft, Adobe pretty much is that. So here we go, Microsoft to the high side. No real targets other than 261. So we got to get to 261 first before we get out of this one. Let's go, Microsoft.
And the first turn that I see in Arrival is going to be right here at like 1850. Remember, we said give it a little bit more room on a day like today, the way it's moved. Probably stare that gift horse in the face on Adobe, but I've taken some out in front of that pre-market low. I still want that high break. That 570 looks pretty enticing, 572 as well. I'm going to sit out Arrival till we get about to 1890, and I'm going to reload. Well, I shouldn't say I'm going to reload. I did reload on ANPC. It does come right back in. It holds the line again, this time at 550. So on the way down, I get that 540 entry. 36 is now my price on ANCP. And I'm not overly concerned about getting into Palantir just more yet because I wanted to catch that dip buy. But ORPH is starting to get very, very interesting because remember that level we talked about, 930? So it just got to 920 and then wicked up, slam right back down here. Now it's testing 9 even. So this is where I want to jump in if I can catch this one at the short side. Just miss it there. I don't want to chase too far on ORPH, but that was close enough that it was worth it if I could have gotten that 9 even. Looks like the flush or the fade could already be on.
All right. I don't know, man. We're going to try to hit some home runs here. So being disciplined would have been getting out there for an $8 winner on Adobe or $7, but we don't do it. So let's wait to see if we can take out 570. I think it was a good enough number. But you do have here, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to hit home runs. And if it fades against us, it fades against us. It's fine. 1400, there's the NASDAQ pulling back down. This was the big bump there. That's why we got that Microsoft and that Adobe move. So we'll see, man. The NASDAQ right now hovering around flat on the session, but we're down on the day 0.5. So let's wait to see. Here we go, man. AMC, bang, there it is. Wait before we go, Brendan. There's a nice little win there on AMC for $1. Bang, there it is, man. We're taking that out. We're slaying dragons. Go! We're monstrous, man. 2 times daily goal already. 4 for 4. Quattro, Brendan.
Thera Pharmaceuticals, guys, another one from the watch list this morning, right at the very bottom of the list, just popped up on a monster volume spike. $10 trying to hold here, down 44% after the board of the company is investigating its own CEO, guys.
Oh, that's not a good look for them. I think that's going to be worth it. Obviously going to miss that turn, and we got the price close enough, but now no cigar on ORF. I hope some people took that profit if you got that long trade, guys. It is what it is. It makes that turn a little bit sooner than I wanted. Adobe is, I like the strength that it's had so far as I continue to watch this flush. Watch out for $7.80 to $8 on that ORF in case it makes a move. Maybe staring the gift horse in the face, but I want to see if we can hold the higher end of that range we like, 57 into that 60 area. You can see it dip right into that target range. It holds up at 59 here for most of the time. Now, if we can hold a higher low, I think there's a decent shot at a reload. You still get an overall downward trend, so you want to be at least a little bit cautious. Palantir, because it did not test lower, well, at least has not tested lower, I think it does set up a little nicer for that top end break, guys. I'll put that trade back on. I wasn't willing to do it before.
Yeah, we're laughing at Palantir right now, guys. A nice little win for this one, man. We're now another 12 cents in the money here on Palantir. It's still moving to the upside, so let's go, baby, on that one. And then you want to talk about something, you know, we talked about Macors, we talked about all of this. Here we go, man. There's lots of room for everybody. And here we go on AMC, man. I mean, good trade. Long 62. We should have averaged in there. We were waiting at 60.50. It didn't come to us. And now we are $2 in the money. So we'll fire off some hot dogs. Let them come off. There it is. That's not the firing off hot dogs. This is the firing off hot dogs right there. We'll fire some off as we go. There's Palantir, baby. Look at this trade. Wow. Are we on fire on Palantir? Are we on fire on Microsoft? Are we on fire on AMC? Look at this trade on Palantir, baby. Bang, bang, right to the upside, guys. Welcome to the jungle, man, where we have fun and games.
Classic joint right there. You guys know. If you don't know that song, I don't know what to say to you guys. I'm not going to harp on anybody because I know we're old. But Geo was another one we wanted in the fade trade. It goes up to 8, stalls a couple of times. I'm going to get in here at that 90 level and also looking back to the ANPC. But you got to come over to OR for a quick second here because that pullback is getting right into that $7.80 to $8 cluster where you can start to think about, does it have a halt in it? It would probably have to break $7.80. I think it has a bit of a rubber band play off of this target range, so much like Adobe. Well, it's not like Adobe because it's far more violent, but much like Adobe, I want it in that target range. It just touched it and then held up, so I want to see if we can get a rubber band off VWAP here back into about 8 to 8.25 to 8.30. Brendo?
We saw MoneyGram pop up late in the day yesterday. Nice move from 920 up to 980. If you remember right at the close, we mentioned that briefly. Again today, trying to take out some highs here as well for MGI on decent volume. And oh yeah, also NVIDIA all-time highs, guys.
Yeah, we're loving NVIDIA. We're loving life right now. And when you have all these bangers on, man, I mean, it is what it is. We're going to go long through 70 as well. So I just keep getting Palantir out here on the high side, man. This is another 30-cent banger. I mean, look at the wins we have on, man. I stared, unfortunately, I stare $7 in the face of Adobe and don't get out. So that's a lesson learned there. We would be so much more monstrous if we just took that naturally. Microsoft as well, 70, 80 cents now in the money and still making moves, man. We almost got there to 261, so I just said that's probably a decent price out, so we'll probably take that if we get back up 260, 260, 60 there on the day's high. AMC still ripping, and there goes our baby PLTR, man. The stock that we love just continues to add this money to all of our accounts. Palantir continues to make the moves. Man, we're going to go 4 for 4, and they're all monsters, so welcome, guys. I mean, if you're not having fun now, you will soon, trust me.
And if you guys like, look, everyone likes buying the dip, so we talked you through exactly what I wanted to do. Look, you're going to miss the short, who cares? You come right back down, you look to buy that dip, you talk 7.80 to 8, it goes right into that target range, slips, immediately rejects, you catch it on the way back up, you scalp to this level here, which is 8.20, previous high, then you get a cluster here at 8.40. There's no coincidence I'm going to take that out in front of that 8.40 level, so there's a quick, high percentage style trade off the open that you can execute right there. We're in, we're out like an absolute ninja, and we're throwing you guys over to Brennan.
NIO, guys, just popping up here on a scanner as well through 48 there. Day highs for NIO. Worth mentioning, XPeng also making day highs, actually doing a little bit better again today than NIO. But these Chinese EV makers strong again.
I forgot all about NIO today. Usually NIO is all over the radar. I've had a couple of trades in Palantir. The last one was like, I'm willing to take that breakout, always scalp a breakout, at least for a third, if not half of the position. In this particular case, we're going to take a third out when it gets the first 10 cents. The breakout in the afternoon only got you like a 25-cent move, and you can always take even breaks past that. So I'll take another leg out in front of that 26. Another leg means another exit on the trade, so we're scalping this one off. And we're going to go to the big screen because we got Miss V.
Daniel, Clover Half is very popular on the chat right now. Stock is up more than 4%, guys.
Yes, it is. And what's up is our net, because right now we'll look at Clover Health for sure. Look at AMC, guys. Let's go, man. Start pounding some chest right here. AMC, we're 3 times daily goal, 3 times. Bang through 64, man, as we just continue to go. This was about as easy as it gets. There you go. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. AMC right there, 62 break long. We have that for you. Microsoft long, Adobe break long, Miss V, nice earrings break long. We are just rocking this thing today. Welcome, guys. I hope you're having fun. And man, oh man, this is just, what a month, what a year that we've had. We look back, man, and we're in the single digits negative days on the year. Let's go.
You guys are looking at Clover. Look, all these meme stocks, there's a lot of them breaking right here. Clover just adds to the list. We told you guys to zero in, so that's why we had the names that we do. But you're coming right into this 1350 area on Clover. Probably going to be due for that one of those like dip buy opportunities that we always talk about. Look at that, identify that in the chart. It gave you one there on ORPH. Now was easy peasy. I'd be hunting this area here, 1295 into 1305. Somewhere in that target range, I think would be that little bit of a dip. I'm hanging on to Adobe for dear life here. But it just snuck into this range, and I wasn't able to get that reload, not quite fast enough there, but this has held VWAP on the pullback. So that's not the best sign for us continuing this move. I need us trading above that 565 in the next couple of minutes, and at least making a test of 570, which it hasn't done. I bagged the $5 profit because of that pre-market low. It did break it, so it was probably $1 I left on the table there. And if it doesn't break VWAP, I'm not likely to reload this position. That's not a lot of strength. Keep in mind, AMC, 64 was that level from yesterday. So if I remember that 60 level, failing at 60-60 the first couple of times, this is a key thing. Can it actually break that 64 top and hold above it, which it wasn't able to do the last couple of days? Big bullish sign, and 68's the next level after that.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just hope you guys are having a good time. I mean, Microsoft, I mean, look at these positions, guys. Adobe, Neil just went over. Microsoft's $1.75 now. $1.75 in the money. You're not going to find a print lower than that. That's a good one right there. AMC's $2 in the money. Let's go on that one and whatever. Adobe's there. Palantir actually comes back in, man. This is why, you know, I talked about scalping, and I told you this was a scalping day. So now I mean, this trade can honestly go all the way back down here. I don't even have to get any out, and we would still be up on the stock. This is how we trade. This is how we trade Palantir. So let's just keep on remembering that. Trade it properly. There we go. Take another piece out right there. It shows us long 72. That's just because that's this price, right? We don't actually do the average in. How we do it is first come, first in, first out, like in accounting there. So, you know, that's why it shows us long there. Our average price, you can see, is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're way down on our average price. So here it comes right back up. So we'll take another piece off as it comes. Okay, here it comes. As it comes back up. And then, yeah, it's just been a monster day, guys. Let's just see if it can keep going. We're already out of half of our AMC there. I don't know, man. That 64.50 might have been a nice little top there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a kind of turn. I was watching BlackBerry as it made that move up to 14. Now, you're going to see AMC moonshot, right? So that 14 comes into play on BlackBerry. Could have had the break if you liked it. I was going to fade it first. It never even cracked 1387, so unfortunately, no trade to talk about there. I pulled a reload on VWAP and Palantir, but it's like Sean said, it's always scalping. So as it gets back to that A level, I can keep covering, and I will continue to cover in front of 2560. In front of 26. AMC, this was fast, man. As quickly as we said it was a key test at 64 to see if it could hold above and maybe get those nice little dip buy opportunities, it just immediately did it. I went over, I got the dip on Palantir, and there was no chance. You had to be sitting on the bid and just waiting for 63 to fall into your face. That was the only way you were catching it. Brennan?
We had a rival on the list this morning, guys. Worth noting here, we're ripping back towards these pre-market highs, was down significantly, but trying to get back to the upside for ARVL.
This was the one. Remember I said when it was like popping in there at 1850, no, hold off. If you want to play this to the short side, wait a little bit, allow it to move. Could have a bigger move in it. Now you have this rebound level, 1930. Pre-market highs around that price. We're close enough now that it's a reasonable amount of risk to put one on in front of that 19. And then you can use that 1930 as your out, guys. So it's, to me, on a morning like this, you wanted to let the stocks move into those right levels that you like better instead of now holding this against me 50 cents and then needing it to go another 30 cents before I'm wrong. I have a reasonable stop level.
All right, so as we talked about Clover, oh yeah, nice little move there for Clover. I mean, I'm just trying to hold all my positions, guys. But whatever, we're monstrous already. We're going to hold them and see how far it can go. I mean, you should probably take some money off of Microsoft now at the highs. $1.70 still in the money on that. Clover takes off from that 1250 level, so that was a good trade. You see it made some bottoms here a couple times at 12. Today it kicks that 12 off. So I think Clover long here makes some sense. But again, you got to watch out. I mean, I'm just very, very nervous about a lot of these meme stocks, and just that we got to make sure that they are the right levels. So I think at 1335, if we could take this out, we'll try long here on Clover. So 1335, we'll go long on Clover. But right now, we're just cruising with a lot of wins on board here today. So as I said, we're going to go 4 for 4, and they're all pretty huge, guys. So Microsoft, back to you. We'll have a quick look. I mean, it just keeps on stopping out on the upside right now. We've tipped it out yesterday's highs around 261. Yesterday's lows where we closed, right where we're at today's highs. So now we'll wait to see if we can take out this 261.60. But I like it, man. We're huge. We're at our largest spot we've been at all day today as Adobe's trying to go. I'm going to try to see how long we can hold that out for. And then there goes AMC right back to $64, man. Our long is at 62. You see where we're at, guys. You see where we're at. And I see where you're at too, Brendo. What up, bud?
Interesting look here on CureVac, guys. We had a very similar situation to actually that ORPH. Remember, we had this enormous move to the downside. Going back 2 days ago, it kind of clawed its way back higher all day yesterday, closing near the high of days. Here we are again, day 2, now breaking through pre-market highs. Decent volume, up 15% for CVAC, guys.
Oh, CVAC, that one was crazy on the move. Arrival's starting to roll over a bit, but I'm going to go back to Palantir for a quick second. There was that reload I quickly said. As AMC was making that drop to 63, Palantir pulled back into, you had to pick and choose, right? So Palantir had pulled back into VWAP. That's the one that I chose to buy in the dip. You're going to catch them here at 64. Scalp some out. I'm still going to take some out in front of 26 as well. And then you get that 26 break. You got to pick your poison. AMC looks like for now it was the better move. It's retesting that 64.5 area, so it still needs to break through this price. I think you're probably going to get that 68 resistance level for sure on AMC. Both these names moving to the upside. Arrival, a nice rollover, and then this Geo, which is the other meme stock. Weak. The CEO bought shares. I know it was shortly a meme stock. It's doing absolutely nothing. So I like this one to fall. If these other ones start to pull back, I mean, this might fall even if they don't pull back. But you had to pick which one I like to the short side, and it was going to be Geo all the way.
I mean, we'll do the diamond hands again. We're still long AMC, guys. So let's go. It's up to 65 here. Let's go. Yeah, I hear the clapping over there. Let's go, Gregory. Let's go. Trader Prad, I believe, also in the building. Hopefully you guys are on this name as well. I know they are. So let's keep on going to the upside. 65 and change right now for AMC. Who knows, man, where this thing could stop. 75 today. Remember, we have options. We have a lot of stuff happening there. We're not just going to talk about the one name, but hey, why not? Neil said maybe AMC is better than Palantir. Not maybe. It's millions of times better. I have Palantir long right now. We've cashed out of it mainly. So this is the one stock that I've basically cashed out of. I haven't cashed out of Microsoft yet, although this is maybe thinking about it here as the NASDAQ trying to make moves back to the downside here. So again, big wins on Microsoft. I talked about maybe taking those here at 261. Maybe we got to do that again if it does come back up and take the $2. Like, I'm staring $2 in the face on Microsoft. How confident am I? Probably too much so, as this one just keeps on going to the upside. But we should have took some profits there when we were almost $3. $2 in the money was 261. 260 is coming. I don't know if we take that. I would put another offer at 261 and wait. I was waiting. That's why I talked about $3. I was waiting for that high to break there, but that doesn't come in. Look at the NASDAQ fading, man. So obviously our Adobe and Microsoft and Palantir all going to come to the downside, guys. So very, very careful right here as the NASDAQ looks to push lower.
Yeah, Palantir about to test that low. Remember when 38 flushed? It was at 32 level. If it goes below that, I'll take it off because I already looked the gift horse in the mouth once on this stock, and I always have to have a stop on Palantir. I don't want to hold it too far. Geo starting to round out. This is a pre-market low. I didn't mention anywhere where I wanted to take profit, so apologies there. Opening range bottom is at 775. Pre-market bottom 775. I want to get some out in front of that level. It's pretty obvious, and then probably put some in front of that 760 as well. So that's the plan for Gevo. On arrival, I'm actually close to on the bid as we speak, and then Adobe with the market coming back in. It looks like another test of this range at 557 to 560 range. This time it's holding a little bit deeper into that range. We'll have to see. I want it to break back up. I'm not getting out at VWAP just yet, but it's starting to get to that point of like, you know what, or get off the pot. The ES and the NASDAQ are both at some bouncing off of key levels. And if we can't make that press now in Adobe, I'm not sure we're going to get that 572 top end break. 73, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know either. We'll wait to see if that comes through, though. Right now, Adobe, coming to the downside, so we're going to wait on that one. Microsoft, we did take some more bids here. I mean, again, no-brainer time for Palantir, guys. You know, we're going to wait to 25. So here it comes to the downside. I mean, look at the moves this has had today. This is actually a pretty active day for Palantir. 60 cents, right? So right there back and forth. So we'll see if we can make a little bit more money on Palantir, then hold it back to about this 24.80 or so level. Like I said, with the kind of trading that we've been doing this month and how it's been going so well, not just today, but every day, why not? There, I mean, look at this. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, right there, we just take the bid. Like, there's whatever, man. Like, I know this is Bitcoins, but let's go. This has just been money flying everywhere today. That's a quick dime piece right there on Palantir, and then we're going to hold. I mean, I'm just telling you, look at the average price. Keeps getting lower and lower and lower. We've taken a lot of profit on this name. It looks like we're out of the money, but believe me, we've made Palantir's my #1 stock right now, pending this AMC hold, guys.
Just got the bid on Geo, so we'll go Gates of Hell for that one. Arrival also. We talked about a couple of these like short side trades when they popped, and be patient with them. And Arrival comes in, is trying to hold VWAP here. Well, trying to get to VWAP, and then we'll have to see if it does hold it. Yeah, ORPH. This one is still doing that thing that it does, which is high volume. Now, we caught that bid. Now, obviously, you could have hung on to this like buy. I'm not huge in believing in the long. I'm going to scalp any long that I take. I'm going to scalp it, but it just touched that 930 after not really quite getting there before. It does touch that 930. So if we can hold that on the retrace, this is where I'm going to take hopefully my first. There we go. I actually got the shares there. I'm going to take my first short of the day. I wanted that 930 level. If it breaks the top, give it 5 cents at most, and then that's the hard top. The first time through obviously was good. I did miss it. It is what it is. We'll see if the second time works. Brennan?
3 days in a row for this one. We talked about this earlier in the week, even yesterday, late in the day here. Protogenics, PTIX, just topping or taking out day highs there on volume, guys. So back to the upside for this one.
Okay, Palantir's right back to 50 here, so we're going to wait to see where we go from here, man, and hopefully it's nothing but upside. As the NASDAQ trying to bounce, we did try to get longer on Adobe and missed it down here at 259, so we'll wait to see where that goes. AMC still bouncing around, and then Microsoft, you know where we have that order. Let's check out NEO. That's another high flyer here, obviously, that a lot of you trade, and there it is, 57. Okay, so I wanted this pullback. It looks like we didn't get it. We were waiting. We put it down on our sheet here. Pull back down to 46.50. We're going to watch to see if it broke down, but it didn't break down. It actually came off and didn't even look at 46.50. So a nice little trade there off any bottoms. If you did look at the sticky note, 46.50 there on NEO was an area of concern for me. But for the upside on this trade, I mean, NEO's been just a monster. Congratulations. This is like a Palantir kind of chart, if not better, from 32 up to 47. But right now we're into that area where it's going to have to look at 50 at some point. So we'll wait to see if that does happen. I don't think so today, but never say never for NEO. What is that last high there? That wick 49.25. That's something to look at. But for today on the daily chart, we have some moving averages here. We could see where that's going. What's the NASDAQ doing? Bouncing around a little bit here as we look at that. At 46. Yeah, we got to, there's nothing here as I look. What I'm doing, guys, is just looking at a 3-minute chart just to see how that looks as well. I'm giving you the 1 minute up there with the volume weighted average price, but it needs to get back down to 47. There's nothing too interesting here. There goes Microsoft again to the upside. So let's go NASDAQ. Let's see where Microsoft can go from here. My offer is now at, you know what, I'm going to cancel. I'm going to still keep the same offer, man. We'll wait to see if we can get it out. 260.50 or so, right around here. If we can get that out, we'll take $1.50 on Softy, guys.
That's what I'm talking about. We'll dap it off here. One, because I look over on one of my level 2s and I see Adobe back up to 563. So it is now $4 in the money again. But remember, Arrival, patience pays. Goes up to that 19. We get the rollover, catch it. 1892.5. I actually got a midpoint. Thank you, Dark Pools. Sometimes they're good. We get some off in this cluster here, and then it gets to VWAP. I'm holding through a break of VWAP here because, hey, let's remember it's negative news, and this is the gap down. Like, if we're taking this level out, this is post-market lows, 865, not a coincidence. I think we're heading right down to the absolute bottom. ORPH was the other one. We wanted 930 on this. I got to zoom in so you guys can get the proper perspective. It finally touches that 930 area, so I wait for it to test the level. Don't short it on the way up. Catch it on the way down. I took some out at 888. 888, that's an ominous number there. Good movie. But anyways, the 866, that's one I'm on the bid. The next one, I just told you guys. And then I'll have some more down here around VWAP. Now, bounced off VWAP where we got the long the first time. So I will certainly take it off the second time, playing the levels and being patient, allowing these stocks to come to you at the levels that you're confident in is the way to go. Geo, on the other hand, this is quite calm, respectively. We wanted this one to the south side of the meme names. It held briefly that pre-market low. It is now broken through. I'm short here at 790. Probably should have got some at 795, but it is what it is. You're not going to catch every single trade. For me, this is like I said, Adobe's in the money, but this put up or shut up time is the second time we're testing this 565 level, unable to extend past that post-market high at 68, let alone get us to that 572 break. So I don't want to get caught here and not take any profit out whatsoever. I want to make sure if we get into this 68 to 72 range and fail, that I get something, that I get the rest of this out between that $2 range. For now, we're still testing, and I still like it. None of the positions are out of the money. And we're still watching that ORPH, though, because we're against the grain here. And as much as it's rolled over at my price target, it is holding at 880. So it's in the money now, but probably the one I have the most pause with, given the explosive upside it could have. It's not much of a gap fill for this to take $1 to the upside.
Okay, guys, there it is. We'll complete our trade now on Softy, guys. As you can see, we'll tweet this out as well for you. Another $1.50 win. We just do exactly what we say. It comes back up to this area, and we just get out. So there it is. The long 259, the out for $1.50. Merry Christmas. What's up, Brendo?
Shout out to our friend Rahim Alani, OCI Group, sat here yesterday talking about this one, guys. Lightspeed, LSPD having quite the day. A little bit low on volume. It's kind of thinly traded as well, so tread lightly. But just broke $80 there on volume spike for Lightspeed.
And wow, it's going to be arrows up again. So, Palantir test back. And remember that pre-market level, that iceberg? I mean, it is what it is at that 38. I got stopped out because this trade here was only ever going to be a tight stop at the open. I said I want to wait for it. It then falls back in, bounces upside, catch the long. I'm always going to scalp some out here in front of 62. So the dip buys have been pretty good. Still holding a core position, of course, because that's what we're trying to do over in Palantir. And just going to come back to, I feel like we did miss one thing this morning, and apologies for that. 23andMe debuted that SPAC yesterday and was crazy to the upside. So you had to weather the storm, and then at about 11:30, it really got going from like $11 all the way up to 13. Got woodshedded off the open here, 13.30 all the way down to 12 even. There's no levels, not really many levels to go off of, but there was this afternoon top where it flushed at 13.50. So file that one away, put it in your back pocket, 13.50 on 23andMe. If it gets to that price and there's an offer, maybe worth that rollover short or potential breakout. It was gangbusters in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's for sure. We like that 23andMe. Good name there. We go long again on Palantir. We've just been doing the same thing. We're taking a little more trades on this, but out, and then we get out right there again at 60 off of our 35 long. So that's another 25-cent winner. So bang, congratulations to you guys as well if you did have this Palantir with me. So now we'll just keep on reloading if it does come back to the downside here. Want to give a big thank you to Alex Enzo for the $10. I love the content, love the community, and we love you, Mr. Alex. So thank you so much for that, as well as we'll just keep on moving this around and moving some money around, hopefully, here for you guys today. Square, a nice little move. Roku, a nice move. Let's check in on another one of the my baby stocks, I guess. AMD up to 85.50 again. What a monster move that was yesterday. We'll see if it can take out this 85.60 level here on AMD. That should be a good little trade there if it does happen. Man, I really feel sometimes like sick to myself for getting out of some of these positions, but it looks like Microsoft, we did a good move there as we just got out at 260.50, saved ourselves, it looks like 20 cents for now, but I don't know, man. The way this market's moving, we could have a lot of upside coming through. It's very soon. Would love to get AMD back down below or near this 85 even level again. So we'll take a bit if it gets down there, and then even more as we approach 84.50. But that's a good trade for AMD. Let's see if we can get it. Brendan at the big screen.
And just like that, 10 o'clock, let's have a look at where things stand so far this morning. You can see still negative territory, but we have actually come off the lows a little bit. Anyways, 1.2 here now for the Dow, the NASDAQ composite, and the 100, about 0.5%. S&P 0.8. The Russell 0.8 as well to the downside. Here in Toronto, we're about 0.3 in negative territory, but was a little worse off early on. A couple of things we were talking about if you joined us early on this morning in the pre-market. Still 2.6 here for NVIDIA. Impressive to the upside so far. Again, obviously all-time highs. Double top up there around 770 to be careful of now for NVIDIA, the other one, Adobe, yeah, I mean, not terribly exciting. Did get a flush off the open, but we're just sitting here consolidating above 560 for Adobe. Guys, back over to you.
You're absolutely right about that, Adobe. We're just sitting here, and it didn't get into that range where I said to myself, you know, if it fails at 568 to 570, I would target out of it. I'm only pulling back so you guys can see that post-market action where you did have, you know, a bit of a breakout here at 553. So you would be concerned if it gets that price. But ORPH, remember I said, like, sitting there, every one of these positions looking pretty good and in the money, and we scalp some of that ORPH out. And then it's going to make this run at the top, guys. So, I mean, 935 is the actual high. I always tend to give it a couple of extra pennies here, so I'm not always making top wick. It just touched that 35, which is, I'll tell you this, guys, right now. If it pops down and fails to 865 and then goes down into VWAP here, like my stop was literally at 835. That's, some of that is like, okay, well, you picked a good level, but one more tick, one dark pool print, anything like that is the difference between right and wrong. So it's a bit of a coin flip, and that's why you want to make sure you're scalping some of this off if you're playing with that kind of a style. AMC just made another pullback. And remember, this is not, to me, it hasn't really had that breakout at 64, and it keeps filling off that price, but this is resisted every time on these dips. Resisted going anywhere close to that like halt style dip trade. It tends to stall out after these $2 moves, and I look back right to this fail break at 62.5, and if it comes back into that level like it's trying to do right here, I think this is where you want to do one of those rubber band ones. We had it in ORF, and as I see it sort of stall out here, where's the level 2? Oh, it's still on Adobe, of course. On AMC, as it started stalling out here, you're getting that battle being waged, like where it'll dip down 10, 15 cents, someone will try to market it back up, and then if you look back to that 62.50 area, if we can manage to hold that, you're likely coming right back into like 63, like 40 or 50 without much trouble. So I always want to see if we can't get that quick little scalp trade in. Now you can maintain a core position while you're doing this, but I'm always looking for that rubber band effect. Before, when AMC was a little bit more volatile, you'd get those moves down and it would go into that halt stage. So it'd be like a $5 or $6 move, and then it was really easy. Now you have to watch level 2 to see where it decelerates. I might have jumped the gun here, but it looks like the battle is right in this cluster, like 62.75 into VWAP. So when it cracks the upside here, anyone caught in that little short trap, because believe me, people short this move when it breaks VWAP or it breaks 63, they're likely to have some stops, and I want to have those exits get me out of some of my profit here in AMC. We're day trading, just a little bit of an idea of what we're looking for as day traders. Arrival, I'm still in the short side of that trade. And this is what it's doing, guys. We did feel like if it broke that VWAP, hang on to some in case it tests a low. This is that low down at 18.25. So if it gets there, I want to park my bid in front. Some trades are a little bit more calm than others. Obviously, AMC is going all over the place. Whereas if you wait patiently for Arrival, it sort of slides in there and then gives you the, it's not an easy win because you have to take it. You have to wait and you have to say, I want it short, and then not just jump in at 18.75 or jump in down here at like 18.50 as I mentioned. But once it gets going, not too much trouble there. ORF, like I said, it resisted. You know, it's going to go 1 penny away from my stop and come back in. If that's going to be the case, I got out last time, some in the 80s. It's a little bit crazy not to park something in front and just take that smaller scalp trade. I can always hang on to the last third for the bigger dip, but there's almost no point trying to get out at 8.65, a third of the trade. Might as well give up the 15 pennies here, catch it on the bid like that. Because if it's going to break this 870 after a double tap, it's more likely to test VWAP. So getting something out in the middle doesn't make as much sense here. But lessening the load, lightening the load in case it breaks that 935. Now it can't be a losing trade. So just a bit of an idea of what I'm thinking of in real time. AMC's still battling at 63, so I'm still flat on that bounce trade. I want to scalp some out for 50 pennies, maybe 75 tops, and then see if we can't get that bigger move back, testing 65s.
Yeah, we're hoping for the same thing on AMC. Hopefully a nice little tested upside. I cannot believe this. We just talked before. I just went off and got some fruit salad. Okay, we'll do it. We talked about AMD there through 85. We should have got the 85 bottom. That would have been huge. Today's fruit salad, pretty colorful, not bad. I got some blueberries in there. There's some hidden kiwi, which is really nice. So we'll take that and we'll just put that beside us. We haven't dipped into it yet. Hopefully it's nice and fresh. The fruit salad, guys. Stay hydrated. We've got the hydrate here. We've talked about that as well. you know, with this amount, it may look like something else, but trust me, it is water. So we'll go on that. We have our coffees here as well. So we're just getting comfortable, man. AMD, we should have, damn it, I cannot believe we didn't take that long. We were waiting for it to come back a little bit. We just talked about it bouncing through 85. That would have been a good take there. Hopefully you guys did have that. AMC starting to fall back in a little bit here, that's for sure. So watch out here to the downside. We're coming back in a little bit, as it's not just a little bit, it's crashing. So AMC right now from 64 all the way back down. We're still holding our initial long at 62, so we'll see where that goes for now. But you know, good long, but coming back in. So we'll take another piece here on AMC around the 62 level. This is where we liked it the first time, so why not like it again? There's another bid. This one, we'll see if we can scalp out for about 75 cents on this position, but we do want to try to, you know, think about this all the way back to the upside. So we'll wait on AMC coming through. What's up, Ren?
Just seeing some movement in vaccine names, Vaxart in particular, man. Sometimes you really got to take these analyst notes with a grain of salt. Vaxart still not worth anywhere near its present price. Oh yeah? 9.5% to the upside again today for VXRT, guys. 875 was that last little pivot up there on the daily chart.
Good for Vaxart, man. We haven't traded that one in a while. AMC breaks that floor, and then I'm watching the tape again. It comes right back down. This is at pre-market level here, of course, at 62.35. So that's why I want to. If it holds, it holds. I'm going to get in and only buy at levels like this, and then I'm going to continuously scalp at the previous defined level. Still have 63.50. Still have 60. Well, now going to have 62.80, which was this cluster right here. That failed break off of the open. Like I said, it's put up or shut up in Adobe. It's now back to that $5 range in the money here, that 564 area. So it is of concern if it can't break out there. And if AMC cannot make this push back at least into VWAP, that would be concern that you're heading right back into that 61 level. So I wouldn't dig in too much deeper on this particular move. So I want to scalp some out. Every time I do a little bit of a dip buy, that's the name of the game here. I should just be crossing. Sometimes, I don't know, I've learned that lesson. And some of it was... you guys see those, some of the symbols that don't move that are on my chart? I'm spread trading, and I get caught up in the whole just sit on the offer and wait to get filled. Sometimes you should just cross the spread and get out. Like, why would you care whether you get 75 or 77 on AMC on this move? You bought the dip here. You just want to make that profit, which allows you to lose less if it continues to come down. But then if it holds this range, just goes back and forth, you can make some money as a bit of a day trader here, guys. So sometimes you got to cross that spread and be aggressive. Adjust to market conditions.
Okay, yeah, we're still gonna hold that. We're still holding. I don't even have offers out for AMC. I mean, if we can get back to 64.50, maybe then we'll discuss it. Maybe 64 for right now. So again, you know, we're gonna wait on that. We don't know where this is gonna go from here. But we are super excited about what's happening right now. We got out of this, but look at this nice move here. Just basically basing out right now for us on Microsoft. Damn it. Sometimes, you know, sometimes we hold, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we fold. That would have been a good hold, though, example there on Microsoft. But we'll take the $1.50 and as it rips back to the upside right now. Brendan, kill him.
Another one, guys, just popping up here. WAFU, one of those Chinese online education companies, just finding some volume here. Back above 9, which is kind of the top end of the range here for this one, up 22.5% today.
Oh my goodness, I remember WAFU. I'm not calling it, I gotta call it WAFU because that's what we talk about here. And look, remember, you always wanna see the pattern of these stocks. Like, are they multi-day moves? Is it just fading out pretty quickly? When it gets to this 930 area, it has made some nice little turns here, but there are some bigger levels and WAFU can really get itself going. It's for a $9 stock. The spread is consistently like not 1 penny. So I would be very careful if you're trading this with stop orders, and just understand, there it goes, it's just going to like a 10 or 11 cent spread. So if you're trading that with a stop order and you're like, yeah, 950 stop, you better not be crossing up saying, oh, I'm only willing to buy 955, because that's a good way to miss out on any kind of an exit trade. I'm waiting for WAFU. It's the kind of stock I would rather halt, and then you can actually trade it a little bit more, a little more safely, I would say. AMC does that bounce. Get out some of this in this little cluster range. The long that we took care of 63, I still maintain I want to get some out at 63.5 because I think that's where some of the shorts would start to cover, and then hold that core position in case it tests that high. So that's the plan. I'll rinse and repeat it as many times as is available to me. Arrival, like I said, sometimes it's not that difficult. Only it actually breaks the low of the day. Now it's kind of a slow trade here, guys. We're going to get that 18.95 rounding off of 19. We waited for it. You take the first out here for 20 cents, take the second out here for about 30, and then you're able to get like a 90-cent winner off of that low. So it's not that difficult in terms of reading because it's the first even level in front of the pre-market high, and then it's a pre-market low as you're out. I wanted it to the short side because of the negative news. Bingo, bango, bongo, Bob is your uncle, whichever phrase you want to use for arrival.
Yeah, we're still, my offer for AMC right now, 64. I talked about that. So a good little win. I mean, bang, bang, bang. There it is, man. No offers. We only have one out so far, but it is right at VWAP. So we could decide to take this out for, again, another 75-cent winner here. So, you know, that's a possibility for me to do. I don't know if we're going to do it or not. Who knows what I'm going to do. But right now, that's a good little look for us. 63, 64 on AMC. That's going to be a good one. We're still holding Adobe out as well. We'll see if we can't get that to go a little bit here. And by I mean get it to go. I don't know where it's going to go. We'll see if it wants to go. Upside is Adobe. We still have that. That's a $5 winner right now. Sorry, $4 winner right now, depending on the spread. We'll wait to see where it goes, though. Palantir's fading back in. These are where we want to start to get some bids in there. So I do have bids at 25, 26. We'll see if it holds, and hopefully it will. And we'll see where it goes from here. But right now, Palantir coming back to the downside, a good little level to try to load up on.
Yeah, it's like, as you said, I literally just got to fill in Palantir, but it is testing that bottom. The mistake that happens in Palantir often, I make this mistake probably more often than I think anybody that's ever traded this stock, is getting in either too early or playing breaks. When it's all about the dip buy. If you just wait for the bigger dip buy on Palantir, it's always the best trade. So if it takes out the pre-market low, remember when we were talking about 25 and like 24.60? It didn't seem very likely. But if we take out the pre-market low here, it's a shakeout because the afternoon bottom was 25, like 18, 25, 20. So I think you kind of want to give it to that level at least. Speaking of stocks that you want to give to certain levels, I mean, I keep saying do it or get off the you-know-what, Adobe. I cannot sit here and just, this stock is, whoops. There we go, ADBE, and of course it is on the NASDAQ. If you don't get it right the first time, you then have to wait for your chart to load up. The amount of times we could have had that first out at 565, this is now the third time. And they always say third time is the charm. This didn't happen, trust me. If we don't break up here with the market holding that 14,000, the NASDAQ trying to climb back into positive territory, if we can't get this one to get back into this 68 to 69 range, then you can forget about it. I'm going break even stop on Adobe at this point. If it breaks 559, forget about that target range of 57. I no longer want to give it to 57. I'll give it to 59. I don't want to lose on the rest of this trade when it just cannot seem to go. If it breaks from here, yes, then I think we head to that 572, but I'm no longer willing to give it $2 because look at the barcoding.
Forget about it. Yeah, good one there, Robbie. There we go. So now we're long on our Palantir. Our average price 41. We've been averaging this all the way down in. We've talked about it, man. If the NASDAQ cracks down lower, we don't want to be in Palantir too much more. So we'll just continue to average in a little bit here and not put on too many more trades. I actually got to cancel that one. Well, that's an offer at 85. I don't hope it gets back up there. We'll see if it goes. But right now, Palantir to the upside, to the downside as the market, yeah, looking to make moves now. It's just, this is what we expect on this kind of a day, man. I was about to say Fed day, but it's witching day. Just up and down and nothing really happening. We talked about that. A lot of volume is going to come in at the close. So we just hope that, that is the case and we get a little bit of a trading opportunity here into the close, especially on a name like a Palantir. So we'll watch out for that. Adobe coming to the downside. And so, guys, is the market right now. So you're seeing this come down. AMC's coming down now as well, just cracking through. So watch out for some 6150s here on AMC, guys.
That VWAP right there was, it comes right in. I'm taking profit off. I'm sitting on the top end to get more shares out instead of just plucking it in here for like 40 cents. And now you're going to come right into that pre-market low area. Likely that bounces in front of it. You guys remember 6150? You remember 5750, remember 5150. That's going to be that next level of the downside. If we can't hold this price area, you're going to test some lows that I think are going to cause some backs to break. If it comes back in, I always look at that previous little bounce price and want to scalp some out in front of it. So I'll always go rinsing and repeating in that action in terms of where I want to get out. So I'll take some out around that 62. I'll take some out around now 62, like 60 or 70. And Adobe, yeah, I don't know. I probably should have just taken that one off altogether at 565. This just cannot seem to go. Now the market doesn't want to participate either here, maybe.
All right. We're watching here. It looks like Ethereum trying to crash as well a little bit right now. This is a daily chart, so that's not going to do any good right here. I know some people were talking yesterday that there's going to be a death cross or something on Bitcoin.
That was on Bitcoin.
So here's a nice little move down. I mean, it's not even that big, man. It's $50. But just to give you guys an update on what Ether is doing, it is heading to the south side right now, as is BTC. So both Bitcoin and Ether starting to go downside there. I put a bid at 61.57 there after realizing, again, I was watching Ether, but after realizing that it came down, a good little pickup there for AMC. If you guys, I just said it's coming to 61.50, so I hope you're able to get that. Palantir, we gave you some other levels here. I don't have any bids now until about this 25.10 area, which we're coming down to right now. So I guess it's getting time to start talking about bidding a little bit here on Palantir to get a better average price. But again, we're not going to die on the sword here. So be very, very careful with PLTR. Don't average in too much. If the NASDAQ falls, we could retest, in my opinion anyways, this 2480. So be very, very careful with that one, guys.
Yeah, I said I would scalp some of that out in front of I guess 62 on AMC, so we're a man of our word, and we'll continue to do that because I don't want to look gift horses in the mouth. Finally, this is like actually potentially, of course I say it. The first time this looks like it's actually going to break Adobe, this 565, and get to the upside, it just immediately stops holding the bid when I'm trying to sell it, celebrating too early. So it looks like I jumped the gun, so I will not look at it because a watched pot never boils. Is that how it goes? Speaking of not looking a gift horse in the mouth, yeah, GEO here, which I've been sitting in the shorts the entire time. With AMC coming down, I kind of felt this would be breaking lows of the day. If I'm going to be in the meme name that I thought was going to be the weakest or the recent meme name, I gotta take another third off here because it's holding this low of the day. So I'll just pop on the bid here at 75, cover a little bit. This allowed me to rinse and repeat, maybe catch some on a bounce here at VWAP because if AMC is going to be crashing like this, why isn't GEO going is the question I gotta ask.
Yeah, I don't know. AMC is crashing right now. So there's the 61.50 level. We're coming up to $60 right now as well here. So we'll see where we go, man. On AMC, we talked about this 60.50 being tested, 61.50, we just averaged into that. So now our average price is just back to 62, where our first long of the day was, right? So as much as this travels back and forth and around, you could see, man, we still are dancing a bit here on AMC. So watch out. We are still coming to the downside. We weren't going to do anything until about 58, but here comes 60.50, right into where we had some support yesterday. So we'll wait out to see if this can do anything. 60.50 here on AMC, guys. I know one trader that killed Orf today, and his name is Mr. Wickens. Take it, Mr. Wickens.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. Before we get into this, I just wanted to mention, I just noticed Amazon Prime Day coming up next week. That's kind of exciting. Let's talk about Orf here. I'll give you my thoughts on this. If you go to the daily chart, this is 9, so there was a little pivot at 9, and then this whole area on the daily chart is basically 20 cents above and below 9. So this move in the pre-market, I thought was kind of overdone a little bit. So my whole plan was look long initially, and then look to fade into 9 to 9.50. So the initial long was great, obviously, to 9. So just working into a short on the way back down now versus that kind of 9.50 for ORPH. So nice mover, yeah, so far this morning. Let's talk about MTP, one from yesterday. If you go out to the daily chart on MTP, every single time it pops to the upside, the next few days are always really great fading opportunities. So this one, a very slow mover, not a lot of volume, but pretty easy to the downside for MTP. And then a few people were mentioning this one, this GERN, never gave you another chance. Had to get involved in the pre-market here. I was going to give it all the way back to 175, but kind of grinding to the downside for that one too, guys. Back to you.
And these things keep bouncing. It bounces one time at 62.30. Take a scalp out. Bounces another time 61.50. Then bounces off of the pre-market low here. Well, it's the opening range low here at 60.80. Each time I'm scalping, I'm never getting that second fill. Now I'm in between this cluster. I'll put another one in between this cluster here at 62.50. AMC still trying to hold some of these bids, so you hold on to that core position. It's one way you can think about averaging into a position or catching those fade bounce plays in. If it continues to break lower, there's no way to win on a trade like that, but you're limiting the loss to that downside. And I jinxed myself on Adobe. There's absolutely no question about that. So I can accept that I clearly was celebrating when it looked like he was holding a bid above 565. Can't even seem to hold view up. My stop is now at break even. It cannot be a losing trade at least. ORPH, It did make that play down into VWAP here, so it was a bounce off VWAP long side, and then it was a short off of that 930 area that we're looking at on the higher time frame, right into VWAP. So that's the plan of action for me there. Can AMC take out a previous flush level? That's what we're hoping to see. I'm now only in this Geo, AMC, and Adobe. No need to overextend yourself. The market's trying to figure out a direction here, so I want to make sure that we're not overextended. I want to be able to react to some of those moves, and one of those was that arrival, which continues. I mean, probably not going to age well. It's a good structured trade, but it breaks the low and absolutely flushes. No bounce, no re-entry point off VWAP, no re-entry point off like an 1850 where we said not to take it earlier, and just goes right down to 1780. So what is weak gets even weaker apparently with arrival.
Yeah, we're going to hope, arrival. We'll hope that arrival happens here to the upside for Palantir, and we arrive safely back to about VWAP here, 25.50. We just took another price downside there. So we're still fine, man. We held on to our AMC, missed the bid. We had a bid literally at 60.50, didn't hit us. So now it goes back to the upside here. And we haven't gotten any out. We're just taking these. If we can get back to VWAP, probably silly not to do that, because now we have triple the share size. So that makes sense to me to get a little bit out if we can get back there. So we will do that, just putting an order in now to make sure we do get out around 62.50-ish. And then we'll see about higher, and then we'll rip it up from there. So congratulations again, anybody with us on AMC. It's been a positive day for me on that name, that's for sure. And then we just got to wait now for Palantir. So really a lot of coin. Oh no, there's a mistake. Microsoft there, we get in and we have to get out. That was my target. Look, my target gets hit there on Microsoft. Unbelievable. To the upside there, so we'll just punch that out and get out of Microsoft. There's that. That was my first target, and actually left the offer in. That was from right here, guys, 259. So damn it, that should have been a bigger trade upside there, but we just get in and out. Microsoft takes off. At least we were right about that one. We're going to hold Adobe as well, and then here goes AMC right back to the moon. Hopefully through 63 would be nice. 63.50. We need to really see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cancel this. I don't even want to get out of it. We're going to cancel our 62.50. We'll see if we get right around to VWAP again around that 63 level. If we could do that, then I think we'll test 64 again. So we're just trying to go to the moon here, guys. Like, we're trying to make a lot of money, not a little. So let's see if it goes up. But it's been a great scalp for AMC, and you see the way that Neil and I are trading it, man. Different opportunities, right? That's what it's all about. Trade your book, trade your style, because it's all about confidence. You got to have confidence in what you're doing, guys.
Actually, you know, that's a great segue, because Mike Jack there, he just said, here's what he said. I got to stop focusing on what is it, lower than $8 stocks, wicked out of PTIX, ANPC. Look, this is a reality. Like, trade whatever works for you. If you find a particular setup, you can only trade them on stocks with $50, or maybe maybe it's penny stocks that you're better at. Who gives a rat's you know what? Like, if you make money, then who cares, guys? When you're trading, that's what the business is about. Forget about pride, forget about all that nonsense. If you find there's a certain subset of stocks which are not as sexy or even too sexy or move around too much, whatever works for you is what is best. So if you find when you're recording your results that you don't do well on those cheaper names, then don't trade them. That's what it's all about here, guys. And oh man, really, Adobe? I flipped to Adobe because I'm like, it's holding that 565 bid again, and then it's like, before I can even do anything, it's already slammed back. So, like I said, I should stop watching it. We're holding on. I've moved my stop. I have taken some scalps out of AMC, and I'll continue to do that. I only want to hold that last bit, that last quarter of it into any VWAP break, and then I want to consistently take some shares out in front of each of those dip buy levels. The next one will be in front of that 62.50, which it is yet to get to. So AMC, you got to do it, guys. AMC, you got to do it. Finally, holding that opening range bid. ORPH has held nicely that VWAP bounce. I'm holding off. I mean, I got out of this trade altogether, that short side of the trade. But look at that clean upward trend that it's got. At some point, it's going to have to make a test of that 935 area one more time. And I don't think I'll be shorting in front of it the next time it does, just in case anyone, you look at this and like, yeah, Neil likes shorting in front of 930. That's happened already. If it goes there again, that's a little too strong for my blood. It's got so much room to the upside. 15 minutes probably a little bit better. It's good the first couple of times, but if it eventually breaks that floor, I mean, a small move is $2. Like to this area here, like a 1060, right? So it's easily could rip your head off for like $2. That's why I wouldn't short another time. I'd wait for maybe a potential halt trade. This thing starts halting to the upside, I'm all over it.
That's funny, yeah. I mean, look, Daniel, I agree, man. If you would have bought AMC at $10, you could cash out now. I actually had $2 calls. So true story. So we made a lot of money, and that was the first time around, and that was because of the $2 bottom. on AMC. That's why we had calls, nothing to do with Wall Street bets. And then we got super, super lucky and made, again, a boatload on those. I mean, we were buying AMC. Here, let's go to AMC quickly. I'll show you. We were buying AMC down here because it was, no word of a lie. Those of you that are watching the show know about this. I was talking about this. We had $2 calls down here because $2 was the bottom. Right, this is well before any sort of ape gang nation or anything like that. We were long down here, man, and then so it was really fun. Like it went to most of them I got out like around 14, 15. So and you know what kind of returns you get on options when that happens. So that was a good one there. I haven't really been able to get back in. We talked about it down here when it was back around 10 to 15. Looking at some of these levels, man, that was a great little bump there. And it's been just hovering high side for a very, very long time. So now, I mean, if you're not a believer in AMC now, I don't know, because again, the fundamentals won't line up. So don't look at the fundamentals. But I mean, if you're going to look just technically, it's held up great and the momentum's there. We talked about 80% being in your hands, in the retail hands. And we also talked about me not getting out at 62.50 because here it goes, man. 62.50 is right back. We're long at 62 even. My offers at, as I look, it's way high. Oh, no, it's actually, I put it back to 62.80. So we'll see if we can get back up there, break through 62.50, take a little bit out for 80 cents, and then we'll ride the rest to the high side. But it's been a fun day so far on AMC for sure, back and forth. And I'm still holding that Adobe, waiting for a break, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Neil's talked about that a few times as well. And then Palantir just bouncing around, man. Our last bid is at 11. But again, I kind of losing faith in this one. Off a decent, another contract today. We're still down. We're down more than the NASDAQ. Never a good sign for PLTR. What's up, Brendan?
Another earnings name we talked about end of the day yesterday, SWBI, Smith & Wesson, just popping up here at day highs. We're right at 2250 or just below it, which is this high over here on the daily chart. So a nice look for Smith & Wesson, guys, up 12.5%.
So I want to show you ANPC here, Mike. Just so that you know, you're like, I got wicked out of ANPC. So did I. Absolutely, so did I. And it's not, and I'll go right back to this setup every single chance I get to it. The only mistake that I think I made here was not, there's nothing wrong with covering that 550 because it was that patented 930 rollover style trade. And then when it tests, I'm going to get in on the way down, on the downside, and then put it at that next level up, that 950. The mistake was, look at this level up here, and ignore these. Look at that next level here up at 570. When that also fails, there was another opportunity to get back in at 550. Now, the reason why I didn't, if I was only trading ANPC, then that's a trade I would put on. If I'm only looking at one stock. Of course, at that particular time, AMC is going nuts. Geo and Arrival, and I'm also trading Adobe. So you're not gonna be able to catch everything, but if you're only looking at one stock, there is another opportunity for you there to get back in, but you have to know the levels that you're looking at in advance before you make that trade. But don't beat yourself up for making the top wick or getting out. That's the cost of doing business when you trade. Accept the fact that you're going to lose on some of your trades and then go from that fundamental standpoint. Like, don't dwell on it. It happens to everybody. Now we need to break. Look, it's not just VWAP that we need to break. We really need to get above that 63.50 area here on AMC. I will not be buying any dip that doesn't involve 60 or 60 to 61 at this point. Like, it's got to be down around here before I buy a dip again. And it looks like it is heading towards that top, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll go ape gang there. You know where we were waiting at 70? It went to 61. So let's see if it can keep going upside there as we continue to ride AMC and really just hold hands through this, right? We've been holding each other's hands, watching this trade. We've just been buying all of these dips. It's a shame because we missed this dip by 20 cents and we just missed that out by 10 cents. So it's been a fun one for AMC. Little frustrating not getting some of those outs there, but that is what it is. Look at this Microsoft trade as it just keeps on going to the upside. Unfortunately, another one, man, we're out of Microsoft for a big win, so nothing wrong with that. You know what? I may just take out this AMC a little bit here at 62.30 if we can get it on AMC, as now it looks like it's trying to fade back in. What's up, Brendo?
Stephen Hunter, it was down because they filing with the SEC to approve an offering. So that was the news on ARVL. Yeah, just making day lows here, actually, and flushing through 18 there, guys, for ARVL. It's 10:30. Let's get a quick check on what's happening over in Europe. There's an hour left in the day. In Europe, Miss V, what's up?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are very negative. British retailer Tesco is down more than 3% as it posted a sharp slowdown in UK sales growth. Back to you.
Yeah, hard to find a bounce here, either in North America or across the pond, guys.
I see you, Vivek, in there asking about Wish. Now, it's probably the reason why I didn't talk about Wish today because, I went over to Geo in that trade and was looking at some different names. You're right. it is sort of setting up for that bit of a move. The last time, well, this might have been yesterday, was it 2 days ago? The AMC was making a bounce, and then Wish was at the same setup. I did short it, and then there was like a very, very small chance for a winner, and eventually broke the top. So, I'm kind of staying back from this particular name today. I know that setup looks pretty good, holding in the long side of AMC, and not really loving it as much as I normally would, guys. So I'm not going to be in this trade. I do see what you're saying about the setup. It might work, but it just hasn't been a good one for me on Wish the last couple of days. I'm still looking at that ORF, though. It's trying to get this bounce. This is actually failing a little bit here. So it's failing to get off VWAP and get off its you-know-what. If it breaks down, you probably want to see what happens to that 8 level. If it doesn't get taken out, it could be one of those like draw the shorts in and then pop back to the upside. So still be cautious with ORPH. I think if you're really bearish on it, you still want to short, you're probably going to wait for that 9, at least give it to 935, which I don't want to take, guys. AMC, Adobe, still working to that long. That's what we want to see happen here. Break that VWAP on AMC. And as far as BlackBerry goes, we were looking for one thing and one thing alone to be able to short BlackBerry. I didn't catch it off of 14 even because it only went to 87s. That probably should have been good enough.
There it is, man. We'll fire it off as AMC right back to the upside now. So let's go, man. We're running AMC here today, so let's go. Up to 64 now, hopefully, is the place to go with that one. Just a little note here, guys. Like, this is how I trade Palantir, so we'll wait. Okay, let's go. Just wait watching AMC. Palantir today. Like, here we go. It just went, like, just before this crash, it went up to 18, 19s, 20s. We got out, like, you can't see that. That print is 20, and the one above that, if I can see, is 21 or maybe it's a 19 and a 20 fill. And then we just took it long again at 02 and then got some out at 10s and then got some more outs at 14s. So this is why, like, it's going to look like, oh my God, how are we winning on Palantir? But I mean, we're not. It has to go back up. It's just, this is how we're definitely licking our wounds here a little bit on PLTR. I still love that 2480 level down here that we talked about. And again, I don't love it. It's just, we've been right down here, 75. So that's 80. So we'll wait to see if it comes down and tests that area. If it does, then obviously we'll be a little bit in trouble, but we're probably not going to average in anymore. Just hope for a big pop here, just like we're getting on AMC, man. Up to 62, 65. Another offer going to be 64-ish now. Let's see if we get a runner. AMD, I mean, another one. We talked about, we're going to go 5 for 5. We're going to go like huge. We're going to be huge today, guys. There's another winner for us. Oh, that stupid candle there. AMD, 8470 long, out there at VWAP for a dime, and now we'll go back higher. So we'll see where this goes with AMD to the moon now, hopefully. And by the moon, I mean if we can get 8512 or so, we'll get out right there on AMD. So a big win, man. We're almost at our highest spot we've been at all day. We were sort of there in the beginning when we had that big AMC move, or that big Adobe move as well. But right now, we're just making that money back, and you can see right now, AMD goes. Man, we're going to go 5 for 5 today. So if that's not something to celebrate, then I don't know what is. Happy Father's Day to all those two celebrating on Sunday.
I was about to say, like, there is something else to celebrate. It's Juneteenth. There's also Father's Day coming up. So to all the fathers, of course, happy Father's Day. Someone just asked about FTFT, and like, we'll call up symbols that I know we're not trading here sometimes, but quickly, it's on 500,000 shares in volume. I just don't see what's interesting about it in today's action. With that little volume and with a level like that coming up at like 395, it's hard to get excited because how are you supposed to break a level like that if the volume isn't coming through? So that's a quick one for me, and it's probably a bit of a pass. Oh, I'm not probably a pass. It just is a pass. Going back to that Adobe, did you jinx it, Sean? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't jinx anything, my friend.
Adobe just made this move here, and I'm like, yeah, baby, you're damn right. It's back at 565. Things looking fantastic, and it's rolling over one more time. So the good sign is, hey, look at that. Higher lows all the way through. It's setting up for that break. One of the other reasons why you're hanging on for that test of 575 here, guys. Or sorry, 572, 573 is the actual high. Sorry. I keep saying that we always round up to those 3/4 marks. So I know it's 573. It looks like it's gearing up for a bit of a break. You are seeing those higher lows. So hopefully we can finally hold that bid above 565. I want this thing off the high. If it fails off 573, I have no problems getting up between 68 and 70, like I said. But I want that to be on the way back down. Guys, I want to be on the way back down. I want to hit that home run.
Oh my God, we hit there on Palantir as we just rip Citi off Palantir. I mean, we're long now at 14, and we just talked about how we can stay positive on some of these names, right? And here we go. This is how you just keep ticking upside. We'll see if we get back to 25.40 right there, and then we'll be laughing. So we'll wait on Palantir. Right now, these are the positions I have. You could see them. We've had Adobe ever since the jump there. So we'll wait to see. I think Neil's target is right here at 566. That'd be pretty sweet. I think that's a good area to think about getting out if we can. It hasn't done much today. That's a good move, especially on the NASDAQ bumping there. So we'll see if that can go. AMC's $1 in the money. I mean, I can't trade this. I could trade it a little bit better. I just should have got that tick there. I was 20 cents away. Stupid of me to even wait for that. Why did we bother with that? AMD, you can see this one. Unfortunately, that stupid wick is there. But that's a nice little bid there, long side on AMD. So we already have that nicely in the money. We'll see if it can get going here, especially if the NASDAQ goes. And then Palantir back to 10 cents in the money again on this name. So we'll wait off that one. And again, as the NASDAQ goes here, I think there's an opportunity for Palantir to get back to VWAP. So my next couple outs will be here around 35. No more outs until 35. Now that I'm saying that, I better cancel my 28s. There we go, or else I'm going to look like a fool more than I do already. And now we'll go upside 25, 35-ish on Palantir as my next target, guys. What up, Morgan?
So if I ever say I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth and then proceed to watch a stock bounce like this on Geo, it just came like 15 cents off the bottom here when I just had that 790 short. If I say I'm not going to do it, and then I do it, and it happens 3 times, then you guys are going to get me on this pineapple pizza thing, because you got to be able to follow your rules. I don't think I've ever made that mistake 3 times, but if I ever do, you guys will hold me to it. I'm not going to add to this short, though, until we actually get a test of 780. I love that. Yeah, there's a couple of other good ones here, but I want to say this for Geo. Volume is that on this move, which is the only reason I like sliding into the short. So we can be patient with it, because I think after that spike, volume didn't pick up. It's kind of hard to see there, but volume did not pick up on this little bounce here. So I can hang on to it, but I will now cover in front of that 760, because I don't want to look the gift horse in the mouth. That's actually too low. Should probably go like 765. So I'm going to sit on the bid at 65. It's a nice little round number here, around that low. And if we pop back into 80s, then I can start thinking about getting into more shorts. AMC, come on, get up and hold that 63.5. Adobe, my target is, Sean, I wanted to break that 65, but I'm only going to get out lower than the high of the day if it tests that 573 top. On the way back down, I would cover. On the way back up, I'm looking for that break, and I want to hold it. Brendo?
This one popped up late in the day yesterday. No before. This is a software maker going again here, guys. 7% again today, back to 32. Wow. Or I should say, testing 32 for the very first time. KNBE on the move again, guys.
Okay, so I'm going to just go with this one when we talk about Palantir. Bang! You guys haven't heard that in a bit, so here we go on the upside now. I don't know. It's at 28, 29 right now. We'll see where we're going from there. I lie. I just took out some 29s on that. My offers are at 32 and 35 now, but I couldn't ignore that. We got to take that off. It's bounced around a little bit here. This is now a monster winner, man. 15 cents. You might not think that's a monster, but again, trade your own book, trade your own risk. I actually dealt with that yesterday. Someone in Twitter wants to know our share sizes, and I just told them, like, if these are all real. Anyways, you could find that on Twitter if you want. Doesn't matter. I think it's some sort of a troll. Okay, 81. So here goes AMC again. That was our out. We should have stuck with our initial goals, which was right here, 63. So now we'll see if we can't have some kind of diamond hands and continue to slay this monster, man. We're up huge on AMC. We're up huge on Adobe. We're up on AMD. Not huge. It's 20 cents in the money. We're hoping to get a little bit more on that one. And then Palantir, we're battling back. And then look at Microsoft, man. If there's not a better stock for me than Microsoft, run this, man. Every time you hear me getting into MSFT, there it is right there. It's a $1.50 winner. Look where this would be right now, $3 in the money. Man, face palm on that one, guys.
That's the thing. You'll never have the perfect trade, but as long as you had a good plan of action, the question becomes, did you follow your plan? Like, don't worry about what the P&L was at the end of the day. Good decision. Money follows making good decisions. So when you're evaluating your decision-making process, it has to be based on your process, and it has to be based on more than just the P&L, because the market one wick one way or the other, a couple of extra pennies one way or the other, sometimes is the difference between winning and losing. So formulate a plan that has a positive expectancy and then execute it is what it's all about. Going to get hopefully a rollover here on Geo that we can play into. I have not gotten any shorts into it yet, but now that it's looking like it wants to turn here, I'll add back into that one. And ORF, like I said, Maybe wait a little bit here. I mean, some people are probably going to jump in the gun. I think would have maybe shorted this one at like 8 even. It holds again. So VWAP is still holding on this. Remember I said I do not want to short that 935. It looks like it's trying to do its best to break back to the upside. It still hasn't made that break your back move, in my opinion. I think it still could be there. And AMC, this rollover was harsh when it double tested VWAP. It's tested it one time here. It's going to go again. I kind of feel like, look, if it does, I'm not thinking about that higher low. I'm thinking actually about the lower low for a dip buy on AMC, just given the way the trend has been going. So I would kind of lean into that one a little bit here, guys, saying if you're going to be buying this one, maybe let's look for that lower low off of 60 instead of buying like the 61.50, even though it seems like that would be that setup. At this time of day, when you know things usually slow down midday, I kind of feel like in the meme names, they're going to squeeze some positions out a little bit more, so I'd be hunting for a bit of a lower low there.
Yeah, meme names, eh? Yeah, we like the meme names, that's for sure. And right now with AMC, good out there. We just talked about it being at 63. We could watch that one more time there. We did have that BlackBerry. And it's so funny because on our sheet here, we talked about shorting BlackBerry at that 14 level, and we missed it. So I actually had an offer there and didn't get filled. I think just like we were saying, but 89s, damn it, should have just got a little more aggressive on that one. I just thought it was gonna go, especially when AMC started taking off, and it did go, man. It went from 1350 up to 1390. Yesterday we were all over the short, today we're not, and it's going down. So a little bit of a misstep on that one. Adobe, man, still cruising for a bruising. It's right at these levels right now. So again, it's probably a decent out, but we have $5 in the money on that one. So we're gonna wait for it and see if it does go back up to that. I mean, it's right at 266 right now. I mean, this is 266.50. It's funny because it's a $500 stock. Like, I'm really just, waiting for 50 more cents? It kind of may seem silly, that's for sure. But that's about it, man. And then AMD, we're waiting for that one to go as well. It's been a huge, huge day for us so far. I'm actually going to be in the process. I'm going to probably just wind up tweeting this out at some point, guys. This was something that happened today. I forget your name. I can't remember who it was with the dog face there. But no comparisons. You guys have a complete brand. You do you. You guys are the best live trading show for free. So thank you so much for that quote as well. And we're just going to keep on pumping it up for you, including throwing over to the big board. Wow, that looks mighty red over there, Brendo. Let's go to the big board.
Yeah, unfortunately, a red board to show you today. We are down better part of full percent now, 0.9 on the S&P. Pretty much everything, as you can see, in negative territory here. A few to point out, Lennar, 3.8%. We talked about in the pre-market, having a nice day again today. Outside of that, the consumer discretionaries, though, the entire thing in negative territory. DHI there standing out as well. But consumer services, retailers, pick one. They're to the downside. Want to talk about the banks? Few people asking, what's up with the banks? Yeah, it looks like they threw the towel in, to say the least, on the banks. The individual banks here, this entire group, very, very red, 3.5%. I mean, the better ones, Citigroup here, 2.3. FRC, there's JP Morgan as well, 2.5% to the downside. Diversified financials, insurance companies as well, all well into negative territory. NVIDIA standing out here like a sore thumb in the semiconductor group, 3.5%, while everything else in this group very negative, but software makers as well. There's Adobe, 2.25%, TYL, ADSK, also positive. Pretty much everything else, not so much. Downside, Western Digital, worth mentioning, having not a good day. Energy stocks over here, been under pressure past couple. Same story with real estate, communication services. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Pretty red, guys. 0.9% to wrap up the week. Back over to you.
And Brendan doing a fantastic job, as always, in answering a bit of Josh D's question. Josh D there was asking about the financial stocks. And we talked about this with Mark. I mean, your trouble zones for that JPM breaks this 146 level, could get into some trouble. And obviously, the reaction to, whether you agree with it or not, or what you think about inflation, or what you think about what the Fed is or isn't going to do, the market's going to tell its own story. And right now, it's going to be selling off. So if you like it, if you like some of these names, maybe I think patience could be the way to go. And that's something that Mark certainly addressed as well. And that's why we bring the Stock Father to you guys. It is all about learning. We can all do that together. In fact, that's exactly what you should do, because to be perfectly honest, learning from other people's mistakes is cheaper than learning from your own. And if you haven't figured that one out, then you haven't been in this business very long. So that's a value of, I think, our community. I think that's just my personal opinion, because we can learn from each other's mistakes here. Maybe maybe one of those is not getting out of VWAP here at AMC. I mean, I just said if it turned here, I was going to hunt for lower lows, and it kind of would lead into maybe you should be getting the rest of it out. I'm going to hold on to it because I wanted to hold a core position on the dip buying. That's been the strategy that's worked this week, so I kind of want to continue to go with it. And I keep waiting for ORF to make a move, and it continues to not want to do it. So I'm going to stay away from that one at least a little bit and not just stare at it every single day. And this 23andMe, now the plan of action that I wanted for me on me was if it were to retest some of those highs to short it. Obviously, it had a big time move to the upside and then was holding those levels. So give you an obvious 1350 level, which unless you had it right at 929, it really hasn't given you much a shot. But it's worth noting, if you look at these setups here, guys, look at this flush in the aftermarket into 13 even. Look at the pre-market bid at 13. So when it makes that move and you've missed it, look back to some of these levels. Because if you took it in this zone, 1280 into 13 even, perfectly good entry point there. It never even threatens any of the higher levels and rolls right back over. So there was a trade in 23andMe. I look back and say I could have done it a lot better because there was a trade after that missed opportunity at the open. I just wasn't paying attention. Is it because I was looking at other stocks that won? Yes, but that doesn't mean I can't review it anyways.
All right, guys, hot dog time right now. You can see what's happening right now with AMD as it's now taking out these highs not of the day, but just of this little level here. 85.05 there. We're long still. 84.71. So it's another one for us, another 40-cent win there. If you want to take it, go ahead there on AMD. Well, now it comes right back down as the NASDAQ pulls back in. But as we were talking, oh, man, should have listened to ourselves there and got that out. But I don't want to get it out. I'm just bringing to your guys' attention that AMD is there for a 40-cent win. I'm still waiting for everything to get higher and higher. So we'll wait on that. And like you guys know, we've been massaging our Palantir trade. Our AMC is still going, so that's going to be a good one, hopefully for us for the long side. Adobe's not doing much. Here goes AMD again. So I think we got it, like, those move down seem to be pretty violent, actually, on AMD. So maybe we get another chance here. I don't even want this VWAP. This stock is a little crazier than even I thought it would be heading into today. So watch out for AMD. I mean, it doesn't look like it's crazy. It's just these moves are pretty violent. Like, sometimes I'm looking over and I'm in the money a couple cents, then I'm out of the money, then I'm in the money 40 cents, so on and so forth. So be very, very careful here with AMD is my thing right now, guys.
And that stock that I got shaken out of, well, almost top wick on since the open at least. It's close enough. ANPC is right back in here to VWAP, so there is a bit of a setup that can get you back into the trade. You want to wait for, I think you almost want to allow it to test this 523. You almost want it to test 523 or a little bit higher than that, catch like 25s, 26s, 27s, because you're probably not wrong until you give it back to like this 35 to 40 range. So I'd be very, very patient with that one and not jump into it too early. We have had some questions about BlackBerry. Are you in BlackBerry? We already talked about not cashing this one to the short side. It's making a bit of a bottom here, BlackBerry. It's going to try and make this break here at like 1340. I think if you're leaning on the bearish side of the trade, you're probably going to look for it back into this. I mean, 14, we've already talked about 14 even. That's come and gone. You can look back into this range at 1365, maybe around lunchtime, catch it in the 55 range, give it like a 10-cent move, and then you can play the trend to the downside in that fashion, guys. But this is witching day. So what you can expect, and we've talked about this a few times, is big volume at the open, lots of big moves, and big volume at the close. Stick to what is actually moving in the middle of the day. You do not want to get chopped around. That's why AMC is going to continue to be a focus, and that's why Adobe probably is not following through.
There we go, guys. Yes, sir. We cash it out again now on this play. So here we go to the upside again on AMC. Again. We're now $1.70 in the money on this one as we cash them out. Now we'll keep going higher. Let's see if we get to 64, man. Been a big stock for me today, guys, AMC. So, let's just keep on celebrating how high this one can possibly go for us here. That is AMC. We obviously like the name. So upside goes on AMC. That's going to be a good one. Palantir now 17 cents in the money. Still hoping that this one can get going, which I believe it will. AMD back to that 40-cent level. That's going to look like a good trade on board for us. And then Adobe. So right now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 today. It looks like Palantir, Microsoft, AMD, AMC, and Adobe. So there it is, man. It looks like so far, positions pending. I'll make money off the show as well, but looks like it's going to be another positive day for us here on the show. So thank you guys for watching. And again, a lot of it's going to depend on Adobe. We should have got that out, and then we'd be like over the moon if we got that out. So maybe we'll do that next time. I can't believe I'm still holding this thing as the NASDAQ comes down. Oh yeah, by the way, there goes Palantir. Right to what we said. Where's my 31? I thought I had a 31. Oh my God, it's a 32? Okay, well now I'll put a 31. We were waiting for 32s there. I thought it was 31, guys. I was going to say, I'm not a liar, but I was. I want the price higher than we were. So let's wait to see now. Damn it. Okay, I'll get out some 28s now. I just can't believe, the reason why we're getting out, guys, and I know we're getting ready for Brendo, is because the market's coming down, and for some reason, Palantir's sticking up high. So we want to make sure that we watch out for that relationship and trade that accordingly, guys. So we'll get out at 28. Can we get a fill? Can we get a fill? Maybe. We'll hopefully get out of some more Palantir before we get back from Brendan. Money Talks.
Hey guys, yeah, let's go to currency land. Mark mentioned, if you joined us early on this morning, Mark was mentioning the US dollar ripping. Yeah, that's ripping. We've gone from 90 down here at the bottom to almost 92.5 on the DXY in 3 days. That's a daily chart. So straight to the upside, sending a lot of these downside. Again today, the euro 0.3, the Canadian dollar another 0.4%. We're back to 80.5 for the Canadian dollar. The British pound 138.2, 0.7 to the downside. Same story for these two. Almost a full percent here for New Zealand, while Turkish lira, Swiss franc holding on to decent gains for the day. But otherwise, pretty red board, including cryptos at the bottom. Yeah, kind of leaking away from that 38,000 we were talking about early on this morning. Back to 36.7 for Bitcoin, 22.50, guys, for ETH. Back over to you.
So, Brennan, one of the things we talk about here, and I know all traders have experienced this, sometimes the best decision you make might not be a trade. And we got a question, I think it was Vivek, one of our viewers here, was like, Wish, man, like that's usually when you short, it's a meme name. And it was in that setup where it's like you already put in a high opening range, you get a test of that range, and then it fell back to the downside. And I sort of outlined like, okay, yeah, the setup's there. This is why I'm not taking the trade, right? So you're going to get a move like this. The flip side of that coin is if you have any kind of a bullish sentiment, then you can take a break. I didn't, so you're going to see me not make an execution, but you avoid losing. And even if you would have controlled it to like taking 11.20 and then getting out, through that high of the day at 32s, you risk like 15 pennies there. I'd still rather not have that loss on the docket if I had a reason to avoid that trade. So you stay away from the things that your spider senses are telling you, or just your experience has told you aren't going to be there. You don't need to overtrade, especially on a day like today where opportunity is aplenty. So that's one that I was able to dodge. I promise you this, 1 week ago, I would have made that trade and took that hit. As a matter of fact, I did, probably in a similar setup, and that's one of the reasons why I did not have that one on today. Adobe, I continue to look that gift horse in the mouth, and it's like, it is what it is. It keeps trying to break that 565, and the only thing I do is move my stop to the upside. Adobe now breaking VWAP and coming back down. It was a good sign that in the midst of this market sort of failing to get back to those highs and holding, that Adobe was holding up so nicely. That's why I liked it for a bit of a break. Seems like it could only hold for so long, though. If we can manage to hold this 59 here, I think another chance to get back up to that 65 and test it. So if it barcodes at lunch, it's a pretty safe hold, but I'm not letting it break that low.
Okay, AMC rate back down. Too bad, too, because it's just been a monster day for me. And again, we just should have took it out. We're still in the money $1, but we should have took that out all the way up here. Damn it. Look at the NASDAQ fading in. Yeah, probably a good call. Okay, AMD, maybe we just get this out now. We're only 5 minutes to go. It's come up a couple times to 85.15, 85.12. So this is another big win for us. So why not celebrate it a little bit? And then, we talked about coming back from Brendan, okay, and what we would look at. So right now, 25.30 coming in. We just took that out. We talked about, we missed the 30s, 31. Remember I told you we were sitting at 31. We're actually sitting at 32. That was a mistake because 31 prints. Can't believe that. We missed it by a dime again to get out. We had to get 28s or 28s there, and we took a little bit more at 16. Remember where we're long 07s right here. So that was a nice move back to the upside here for you guys today. So let's just keep on watching to see what happens. But so far, so good, man. AMC, we've absolutely destroyed it today. No negative trades, no nothing on, just clean it. Bang, bang, bang. out. Look at that last out. I mean, you're not going to get anything. I'm going to hit diamond hands. You guys can mock it for whatever you want. But like that top right there, like I had to hold it, right, all the way to get that. These are the levels that we wanted, 63.50. So instead of just scalping this out, like that's another $2 winner there for AMC. So there's about $1.50 right there. There's another buck. There's $2 clean. So actually that's a 61.50 out. Yeah, 63.50. So another $2 clean on AMC, as that's going to be, you know, my number one stock of the day, as it looks like, Adobe pending always. So that's going to be a good trade for me coming through on AMC. And just again, right there, another great out there on AMC. So really happy with the way that one's trending out. And then Palantir, we'll just wait to see if that can go back. But it's been a big, big day for us, man. We're hella positive again. And thank you for joining us. We're back at 3:15.
That's what you got to remember. This day is not over. You know it is witching day. That means the close is going to be exciting. The last, in particular, that last 20 minutes or last even 10 minutes can be exciting. We want you guys to make sure you tune in. You don't have to trade around witching at the close. You can observe it and you can learn from it. That's what I would suggest everyone do. Even if you're like, it's too much for me, it's not my style, who cares? Tune in, watch, learn. You can always pick something up there. And this is a good one. I like the National Day. Look, obviously, you guys know it. Juneteenth tomorrow. It's Father's Day on Sunday. But I like this National Day. It's sort of a good little blend of what's going on this week. So, Ms. V, why don't you tell everybody what it is?
Thank you, Neil. Guys, it was a wonderful week. Thank you very much for spending it with us. Welcome all the new members and all the new subscribers. Well, we will be back at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time. In advance, guys, have a wonderful Friday and great weekend, and happy National Fishing Day, everyone.
Oh, hells yeah. I'll be, actually, I'm going on a golf retreat next weekend up to a lake which has a very, very beautiful golf course to it. You guys can probably, well, you can try to guess which one it is. Doesn't really matter if you guys know about Ontario. So we'll be fishing, we'll be some of this, and we will be some of this. That more looks like a baseball swing, but we will also be golfing as well. So it should be really fun, and a National Fishing Day. I love me some fish. Great pastime. I try to do it a couple times a year.
It's a lot of fun to do, of course, and look, it's a fun thing to do with the family. It's one of those experiences I think that everyone sort of shares with a family member, and it's like you kick back, you can talk, and then you can have a little bit of fun, sip a few suds if you can. Fun, a little bit more fun on a lake if you get on a boat, but to each their own. You take the opportunities that you can. I really hope that everybody, and I meant that what I said, like if you guys are not, even if you're not going to trade the close, even if you never trade the close, like it's not your normal thing, you should tune in on a day like today. Like you should be trying to learn when you get a witching and when you get rebalancing. Just learn from that experience. I think it's going to be a very, very valuable one for all of you at 3:15, and I love that music. Trader Prad's in the building. I'm not sure if he's heard that one, of course, because all traders tune in to that rebalance because it's going to be a fantastic close. Thank you guys just now for mentioning about LEDS. Wasn't on the radar. I see the pop. I'm going to be watching this one throughout lunch. Trade what moves. That's what it's going to always be all about here. And just one last thing, because look, the market never sleeps. ORPH just finally made that bounce. So I'm not going to look for any shorts off of 930 here. This has the potential to make that break. And then remember, that next level up was like 1050, 1060 before you run into some resistance, guys. So watch out for ORPH. It was a good short into VWAP. I'm not going to be making that second play through. I think it's a little bit strong despite the bad news. And Alex Enzo, thank you very much for that super chat. You guys are the best community there is. I mean, you can't say enough about them, Sean. It's like you guys are the best. We have a lot of fun. We're missing symbols, and you guys are letting us know what is moving as much as we're trying to teach you guys what we see here as well.
Hey man, I've already gone on my rant today and got the mad love from you guys. Thanks again for the follow. If you guys want to give even more mad love, follow me here on Twitter and send me some notes, send me some messages here. We're gonna go. Mr. Alexander there, I think it was, who asked me. I like a largemouth. I like smallmouth bass as well. So I like all of that. That's all nice. I like fishing for pike is okay, but definitely those bass and hopefully not rock bass. We're gonna get a little bigger sizes here going through. So I just like to fight that is there. So we'll wait to see, just like we fight with the market every day. The only problem is when you fight with the best, you lose. So sorry about that, market. It's going to be another positive day for us, for me today on this name, so on the whole market. So thank you for joining us today. It's been a big one, and it's going to be a big afternoon. Make sure you join us back as we get ready for the imbalances. We'll talk you through that. There may not be anything really to trade, but it'll be fun to at least watch it and learn about what we're looking at. We'll look at some Toronto stocks. We'll look at some New York stocks and NASDAQ. So we'll be here for you guys for the close. And
let's wrap it up, guys, because it is 11 o'clock. You know what we got to do down the line. Miss V, as always, my man Brendan. I'm Neil Roberts, and it's Sean Katina. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Maybe you can do something on the weekend. I don't know. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you guys at the close. Bye, guys.